Hi, welcome back guys. This is your friend, the MHA What If with another fanfiction. This is the move of, what if Deku's best friend was the future CEO of GZ Corp? All credits for this video go to their respective authors, so please support the real author. Check out the link in the description for more details. Please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this. Now let's get into the fanfic. Most of the time, Katsuki can handle little to average bullshit with minimum damage to his stress-tolerant level. But today, he is on FING edge actually last night, but only for today he can let out his emotions, so he did exactly what he did, break all the furnitures in his office except for the family picture that hangs in his wall and trashed the whole room. His mother aka current CEO of GZ, their family business and clothing brand owns the DMN building anyway. Katsuki was a CEO in trainee. Being the only son and heir to the company, he expected that he will be handed the responsibility, which is exactly what he wanted, to own the family business someday. But last night he just finished doing paperworks and a certain someone called. Katsuki was just about maybe 3 months out of a relationship which lasted 2 years. To say that he gotten a wedding invitation from his ex-girlfriend last night infuriates him, not because he was jealous that his ex found a more husband material guy more than him. It's because he feels like it was a slap on his face, as if to say, oh BW, I'm getting married next week and you're invited. And please bring a +1. Unless you don't have. Which really Katsuki didn't have, so it feels like he was the inferior one of not getting a lover after a breakup. To which his defense, it's only been 3 months? How the F could you get over a relationship within 3 months and get married to someone else? Apparently his ex does. But whatever. She was a childhood friend before even his girlfriend, so it wasn't all that awkward or him being mad. What gets him angry is he FNG agreed to be in the shitty wedding and out of frustration saying, I'll be at your shitty wedding, and I'm bringing my demon boyfriend too, to anger her, but to his surprise her ex replied, boyfriend. I'm so happy for you Katsuki. I knew you have things for boys from the start. I'm telling Mamita. Can't wait to see you both. Katsuki was so shocked to even say don't tell my grandmother about this, because did she just said she knew he liked boys from the start? He does not. He genuinely loved her for the whole 2 years, what the F dash. So if she claimed she did knew, how come they lasted more than 2 years of a relationship? Or she was just that kind and thought, oh I think my BF isn't just ready to come out so I'll be a good friend and be his beard. But seriously though, Katsuki was straight. His ex literally was a proof that he was straight. Anyways, so the realization brought out to him that maybe when his ex thought it's time to settle down and start a family, she knew Katsuki wasn't the one, because she thought that, yeah it I finda heard it, but then again he had moved on, but to think she acts like she knew him more than himself does kind of really set him off. So he needs to get his sheet together and find a fake boyfriend real quick. So here he is sitting on the empty room after conducting a meeting contemplating whether he should take back what he said or just throw himself out of the window, when someone knocks. Who the F is it? Seriously, can't people just give him a minute to sulk? It's me dude, I mean sir, just on checking duty, saw the lights were still on, figured someone was still there. Then he heard soft laughter from the other side of the door. Mind your own business, tape face. He swears his friend/assistant was dumb as hell because despite telling him to F off, he heard the door clicked open, the exact opposite of minding their own business. 20 minutes until closing hours dude, get your paycheck because you'll be treating me for dinner, literally cleaned up your office after your rampage and my salary isn't enough for that. Katsuki scoffed but stood up anyways, I own this effing building. Correction, will own, CEO Mitsuki still have the final say around here. Yeah, but little did Zero know, it's still his grandmother who is the boss. His mom can't do shit in this company without her consent, because his grandmother was the president/owner of the company. Somehow he can understand her because the company was supposed to be his dad's, Masu's, since he was the son of his grandmother, but he passed away when Katsuki was 5 years old. By will and law, the company should be Katsuki's after his dad passing, but being a minor, it was handled to Mitsuki since her mom and dad were both in the fashion field and industry, until Katsuki was old enough to have the title. He was the only son and heir, and he knew that in his grandmother's will, when she passes, she will give Katsuki full ownership of their company, giving him the title of president, CEO. He had asked his mom why did his grandmother only given her the CEO title, but his mom explained that it's almost the same thing, but she already figured that Baba wouldn't give up full authority being her only a wife and had the surname by marriage, but Katsuki was legitimate, and who continues the bloodline. That doesn't make sense because his mom literally was married into the Bakugo family, but yeah, grandmother is weird, but he figured he wouldn't disobey or displease the old woman, at least not until he owns the company. Shiro must have sensed his foul mood when he took a seat and let out a heavy sigh. You know what? Forget dinner, let's talk. Katsuki went to the window to see the city lights. If owning one of the tallest building around the area to see the beauty of a calming night, then he was proud to be a Bakugo. He can see from up here that people are wearing now more thin clothing, abandon their coats and boots because spring was finally over, summer is approaching, but before they experience the heat wave, probably the next 2 months Japan will experience constant rain, but it's thought to be a blessing and he didn't care if it rain or shine, it's not like his company will be affected by it. They have collections for 4 seasons, you gotta keep the audience satisfied. He closed the curtains slowly before turning back his attention to Shiro. She's getting married. Shiro just blinks at him, then his eyes went wide, standing up in shock. Mitsuki? What? To? When? Ha! The F, are you saying? No one in their right mind will want to marry the old witch. Oh! Shiro had now calmed and laughs sheepishly. I thought we're talking about your mom. And excuse you, Mitsuki is still a decent-looking woman for her age, and of course there are people who would want to marry the CEO of GZ, who wouldn't want to be a millionaire. I mean, if I'm not just your friend, maybe I dash. Katsuki growled. Kidding, bro. I mean, so, who's getting married? Out of frustration, Katsuki pinched the bridge of his nose. Yumi. Yumi? As in Harayumi? Harayumi who modeled last year's GZ's collections? Harayumi, the girl in your family portrait inside Mitsuki's office? The Harayumi your ex-dash. That Yumi. Of course his mom still have that FING family portrait hanging on her office, despite Katsuki telling her to throw it away after the breakup. Yumi was his childhood friend, who became famous in their high school by doing freelance modeling. Katsuki didn't know he liked her until his grandmother mentioned they could be a good pair since Katsuki is going into almost the same field. Then in college his mom helped Yumi signed into Endeavor's talent agency, and that's how he met Shudo. Obviously Shudo was more popular than her being a child star, and his father literally owns the DM agency, but Yumi had her big break after being GZ's main model for last year. It was Katsuki who broke up with her, thinking it's better to focus on the company he's about to inherit rather than splitting his time. So after that breakup, a month later he had heard that Yumi has a new boyfriend. He doesn't know who and he doesn't care, and then yesterday, Yumi told him that she's getting married. He's surprised that the media didn't found out sooner. Props to NG's management for handling their model's appearance to maintain. Oh man, I'm so sore dash. It's not a big deal to me, so what is it to you? Who the F cares if she's going to get married? Shiro looked at him as if he grew 2 heads. Dude, you literally flip your office upside down, remember? How am I supposed to believe you don't care about Ehara's wedding? She wants me to attend the stupid ceremony. Shiro didn't respond, he waited for him to continue. I told her I'm going to bring a boy-free dash. What? Bakugo, what the fuck dash? Katsuki puts his hands to cover his ears. Stop yelling. Shiro did the same, covering his ears. You're yelling too. Then both of them let their hands down. You don't have a boyfriend. Thank you for reminding how effing single and lonely I am. No. I mean, how are you planning to have a boyfriend right away? You can't just buy people's love. Then an idea pops up to his mind. Dude, stop with that face. I'm not effing doing anything. You literally have a maniac smile right now. Meaning you have an idea which never turns out good. Katsuki gave a snort but kept his grin. You're right, I can't buy people's love, but I can buy people. Dude, that's illegal. I'm not planning to literally buy them, moron. I'm thinking, what if I pay them to date me? Just for a day. Shiro gave out a visible fake shiver. Come on dude, that's so low, maybe it's better to tell Ehara the truth. And then what? After meeting the family the next day you'll say your boyfriend broke up with you? Katsuki nodded. He's such a genius. It could work. Wouldn't Ihara and the Bakugas think that's a little sketchy? Katsuki shrugged. I'll say it was a coincidence. Mitsuki knows you are single though. Then I'll tell the witch I've been dating in secret. There's so many flaws about your plan, Bakugo. I'd like to point it out, but I'm tired and I know I can't win this argument. But don't say I didn't warn you, and don't come crying to me when this sheet went downhill. As if I ever cried. Let's go. I'll treat you to dinner just because I don't owe people sheet. Zero shoots him a finger gun. But I'll choose the place. I've never been there before, but I heard it's pretty chill. Whatever, just make sure they don't poison me there. I have a company to run. He tossed Zero his car keys. Wait, you're letting me drive your personal car? The idiot waves the keys in front of his face, surprised. I'm not taking any taxi. Well, the company has cars you can borrow dash. As if I'll drive those cars with the company logo. Zero puts a hand on his shoulder. If I ever made a scratch on your car, I want you to know I didn't mean it, and please don't fire me. Nah, I'll kill you before firing you. Thank you. Please come back to Deja Brews again. Idru waved goodbye at the last customer, then shuts the door, turning the sign from open to closed, then dragging his butt back to the counter where Mina and Ochako is. You okay, Eiji? Mina asked in concerned as she rubs comforting circles on his back. He groaned and shakes his head. Idru got it real hard in life, but especially this week. If his heart wasn't just strong, he already gave up in life. For a family of 7, and being the eldest, he works hard 3x as everyone else. From 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. he get to work at the Love Hotel near this coffee shop as a housekeeper, just cleaning and changing bed sheets after the guest checks out, and front desk too for anyone who's checking in. Then from 12 noon to 1 p.m. he'll be an hour substitute for cashier in the convenience store beside the hotel until the regular employee whose shift starts at 1 arrived. Then 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. he works at this coffee shop, and if there's not so many people he'll get out by 8 p.m. then take night shift as a waiter in his friend Denki's bar. Only high school graduated, but to be honest he didn't even finish high school. Last 2 months until he graduates when his mom fell ill, leaving Idru no choice to drop out school to take care of her and his 4 siblings. His father was insisting that he can take care of his wife and children, but Idru knew it was a lie. His father's work was in construction and it pay okay, but not enough to sustain all of their needs. So he needed to get a job to help his father, for his mother's doctor appointments too. But now his mother was well but not too well. Still his father was in construction, but his baby brother, the youngest, will start attending kindergarten, and his sister, next to him, was going to high school. So yep, he is so stressed and already thinking how many jobs he could possibly do in 24 hours. Look, Eiji, if it's about money, I would like to, but dash. He looked up at Mina and denied her offer quick. No. Oh God, Mina, I already asked you for money about like 3 times. I don't want to be a burden. Mina playfully smacks his upper arm. Silly, you are never a burden to me. You know I'd let you borrow any time again, but you know. Yeah. Mina's younger sister got pregnant of the age of 17, then the boyfriend literally knocked her up and ran, breaking up after knowing he got someone pregnant. Of course Mina's family was mad, especially Mina because she's the breadwinner, being her mom and dad are unemployed. She has 2 jobs to comply the needs of her family, and now there's a baby on the way, so he could understand that she won't be able to lend him some money, and that's totally fine. He can manage to keep his family alive. Somehow. Kirishima-kun, maybe I can. No, Uraraka, really, it's fine. He laughs sheepishly. He doesn't want people pitying him. Mina lending him money already guilts him every time, even though he paid her in time, but his pride won't let him accept Uraraka's offer. The last thing he wants is for Midoriya to get angry with him. He knew the pair was saving up to buy a new house and plans to move in together, though he doubt Midoriya could even get angry, but you get his point. Uraraka was kind enough to convince the owner of this coffee shop to let him work here, and then offering Mina a job too after knowing from him that a friend needs more income for their family. He basically owes Uraraka this coffee shop job, so he can't accept any more help. Well, excuse me ladies, but I need to go and help in Denki's. He tried to sound very enthusiastic, but his eyes gave it away. He's really tired. Mina frowned. Age, you know how they say that your hospital bill will be bigger than your salary if you push it too far, right? Idru took off his apron and hands it to Uraraka as she took it and smiled, walking away from the two of them. Don't worry about me, I'm strong. He gives her a wink and walks away, ready to take a graveyard shift. Take care. Tell Denki to call his friend because I want a piercing appointment too. Idru chuckled to himself, flicking his tongue, feeling the little silver ball. When he got out, he could feel the gush of warm wind hitting his skin. If his hair wasn't just styled, it will flow to different directions again, because now he got shoulder-length hair. But when it isn't styled in spikes, he ties it in a bun or sometimes if he has time, braiding a portion then putting it up on a ponytail. Today was Friday, so he expected a crowd to Denki's bar. The bar was just a 10-minute walk from the coffee shop when Idru felt there's something off. There were no cars parked in the parking area, only one. A black car. Oh my god, was that a Rolls-Royce Wraith black badge? Okay, his brother was just really into cars, so he has a vast knowledge of them, but holy shit. Never in his life he thought he'll see one of these in his lifetime. Because how rich you could be to own these type of cars anyways. Even the plate number screams power. It was a glow-in-the-dark plate number, a kanji character for Shibuya, which is about 15 minutes away by car here in Shinjuku, then a hiragana character for you, then the numbers, hyun. Whoever is the owner, they must be crazy rich. Because here in Japan you have to pay every dot on that plate number, and the owner made sure to put 3 dots and 1 on it like a boss. The lights and music were still on, the only difference was there's no people hanging out outside, no one's making out, and no noises. Denki? He opened the door to reveal only 2 people occupying the bar, his blonde friend and a guy with black hair. Sheet, was that the guy who owns the car outside? Well, he looks kinda rich, wears black suit and all. But where are the people? Kiri, come on in. Finally you're here, dude, help me with the drinks. He gave the black hair guy a small wave and he winked back at him. He gives out a small chuckle. Working in a club, he was immune to the pickup lines and flirtiness of Denki's customer. Well, because the owner was a flirt too, so he had practiced, he just gives them a small smile and turned down their "wanna have SEC" offer from both guys and girls politely. So he wasn't being rude, plus drunk people tend to have thin patience, so he think he can handle this customer for today. So where are the party people? Only one customer? Please, I need this job, don't tell me you went bankrupt. He took the cocktail drink from Denki and put it in on the tray. Bro, we're far from bankrupt. Go and give the cocktail to the guy out there. While I prepare the Yamazaki. Idru almost dropped the cocktail. What? Denki laughed at him and gets the alcoholic beverage, their most expensive alcohol display in the bar. Yep, today, Kiri, you will witness the most expensive, elusive elixir whiskey in Japan to be bought. Wow, the black-haired guy must be really rich then, because the price of that bottle of whiskey was his earnings for 3 years, and he worked full-time. Was the guy an artist? But he hadn't seen him before, maybe a politician? But he looks like around his age, so that's impossible. Oh, I'll explain later, you should entertain the guy before he gets bored though, and he's waiting for that. Denki points at his tray. Thank you for waiting, here's your white cosmopolitan, mister. A dash. Ciro Hanta, the guy offered his a hand for he to take, which he took, shaking the other's hand. Mr. Ciro, please enjoy. Where are you going? Ciro asked him. Oh, I'll help Denki dash. Nah, he can handle that. Come sit here for a while. Ciro tapped the seat beside him. Thank you, but I'm not allowed dash. Not allowed? There's no one here. And besides, Kaminari wouldn't mind. The black-haired guy pursued. From the corner of his eye, he saw Kaminari gives him a thumbs up, then continue to arrange the whiskey. Was he wrapping it? God, Ciro's really buying that drink? Idru groaned internally but still sat next to Ciro. So tell me about yourself, Kiri, right? Kirishima, he politely corrected. Okay, Kirishima, so what do you do? How long have you been working here? He was taken aback on how Ciro was basically interviewing him. Usually with the other customers it was the other way around. He gets to listen to the customer's self-monologue on how great they are, their achievements and all that. It was the first time a customer wanted his opinion or say. Oh, for about 2 years now. I don't always come here every day, only on busy days like today and maybe tomorrow. I've got other 2 jobs. he admitted. He didn't know why was he telling his life story to a complete stranger, but it's nice to know someone's listening. No way. Really? Idru laughs at Ciro's surprised face. Well, someone's going to feed a family of 7. I know my life is kinda shitty right now, but dash. And someone with a shitty hair needs to back off now because Ciro, we're effing leaving. He turned around so quick he thought he was going to fall from the chair. Ciro stood up quickly too, clearly surprised by the man's presence. The man has a fair skin tone, probably the same height as him, slim build, has spiky ash blonde hair with red sharp piercing eyes, wore a white button-up shirt, but leaves the first 3 buttons unbuttoned, black slacks and black leather shoes, but what caught his attention was the man's obvious Audemars Piguet wristwatch. Dude, come on, we just got here. The man ignored Ciro and gives him full attention. You shitty hair, where's the whiskey? Shitty hair. Idru cringed at his words. He tried to be very polite, and he knew he has so many insecurities, but he was barely holding himself together, so he can't help but talk back, knowing he'll regret it later since it was the first time he'll lose his cool and yell at Denki's customer, but seriously, the man was asking for it. Shitty hair. Are you seeing yourself? You hair is almost the same as mine. The man steps forward, then Ciro placed himself in between, then, placing his palm on the man's chest, clearly stopping him from attacking him. Man, we're here to unwind, remember? Ciro tried to calm the man down, but his hands was swatted away and points a finger to his face. How dare you raised your voice to me, peasant dash. The rage didn't leave the man's face. Idru laughed. He laughed so painfully that he has tears in his eyes. Peasant? Only 2 sentences in and the guy managed to hit it where it hurts the most. He always thought he was plain looking and boring, so he tried to change his hairstyle and hair color. From there he promised to become a better man, one who his siblings can look up to, a big brother, their manly superhero. And to be called a peasant, it's not like Idru wanted to be poor, but he tried not to be poor, and still trying. He was giving his 200% for his family, to make sure they have new clothes, they eat 3 eggs a day. Even if he doesn't feel well, he always come to work because he thought it'll be better that he was sick than his family if they didn't eat because he chose himself first. Then this rich privileged boy will just call him that. It's true that they have a huge gap between their social status, but doesn't mean he can just call Idru like the word was just the same as calling him his name. Oh yeah? Do you think just because you're rich you can call me names and degrade me? Newsflash, princess. I'm tough as a FING rock. I'll make sure to add your words to my grave, but before that, I'll make sure my family is settled and okay, if bullying people enjoys you that much. He laughs again bitterly. Ciro was looking anywhere but him now, probably guilty seeing him having a breakdown. Thank God there's no one here than the 4 of them. The guy had now a neutral expression to his face. Kiri. He heard Denki called up from behind him, probably already finished wrapping up the bottle. Now he was aware he was crying and he tried to wipe up his tears using his worn red t-shirt. You're right, I am a peasant and I'll continue to be so that my siblings wouldn't be one. He walks out and went to the bathroom and he cried himself out of tiredness and anger. At least the bar was empty. It's the same FING designs for 2018 Wet and Wild Summer Collection. Are you FING recycling ideas now? Change it. He threw the paper on one of the employee face. Looks like the girl was already in tears, but he's not approving that FING pattern. The girl quickly, timidly apologized and made her way out. From the glass windows of his office, he can see the people standing and gathering into groups, probably speaking ill about him. He's used to it by now. Katsuki knew his frustration was from last night. He had made a grown man cry. He thought everyone could handle his name calling, but the guy was a pages. Ciro scolded him and told him he better apologize to the red hair, but as FING if he'll ever apologize. Ciro also told him that he exchanged number with the owner of the bar Kaminari, which he calls Pikachu now, and texted him that apparently after ranting to Katsuki the guy had a mental breakdown, probably from all the stress and problem, but Katsuki doesn't give a shit. Then there was a knock on his door again. Sir Bakugu, may I come in? It's Ciro Hanta. Whatever. Then the door opened, Ciro with a disappointed look on his face. Heard you made another employee cry. Katsuki leaned back to his seat. Not my even problem if she's a crybaby. She's getting paid, so she better work. Siro sighed. Look man, do you want Chief to hear the complaints about you? They can't fire the future CO, he smugly answered. They can file complaints all they want. When he gets the chief title he'll be firing all these extras. That's power harassment. He rolled his eyes. The F are you even doing here? I don't have any business with you. Yes you do, remember the fake boyfriend thing? Katsuki raised an eyebrow. What about it? He had asked Siro to make an ad and website for this fake dating thing, because he's that desperate. Well, there's so many candidates who wanted to become your fake boyfriend at first. There's about 400 people, wild right? I chose about 15 possible fake boyfriend. And? When they asked who will they be dating, well of course I told them your name, they backed out. Siro said disappointedly. I tried to reason out that you can't be that bad. But still. Their loss not mine. By the way, did your dad like the whiskey? Yesterday when they got to the bar, Siro was already planning to make Bakugo buy that expensive whiskey for his dad's birthday, but that was a small price for everything Siro had done for him, so he bought it. Siro looks at him in bewilderment. What? It's your lost. I almost forgot, check your email, you'll be in for a surprise. And yes, he basically worships you now, he said thank you. Mail? He doesn't have any new inbox right now. The recent was from Todoroki Shudo, the son of the owner of Endeavor's talent agency, asking him to hang out this week. Not in the inbox, I moved it in the VIP file. Siro said, taking a seat in front of him. He opened his MacBook and went to emails, then VIP file. Most of these was from his mother and grandmother, all work-related, but he complied all tasks, so what do the hag wanted now? And surely there's an email from his grandmother. From President Bakugo Himiko. To bakugokatsuki at gsclothing.com. Forget to mention to your own grandmother that you have a lover? You told Yumi but us, I bet even your mom doesn't know. Come home on Sunday at the main house you little rascal and introduce your boyfriend to us. I'll check if he's worth to be married into our family. Mamita misses her little daredevil. Siro coughed. So? What does President want? Still in shock he said, I think Baba wants me to get married. What? Let me see. Siro practically pushed him and snatched his laptop. Bakugo, you're so doomed. Wait, didn't you say Todoroki wanted to hang out for the weekend? Why don't you ask him to be your fake boyfriend? I'm sure he'll help, he's a friend after all. Are you FING kidding me? Then that BSRNG will ask me for stocks in exchange of Shudo's help. You know how selfish that guy is, always seeking on how to profit off his own son. I'm sure even if I fake date one of his regular model he'll ask me to pay him too somehow. What more if it's Shudo? My time frame is 2 weeks, dude. You can't expect me to find you a fake boyfriend today. Yes you will. At Saturdays we get out after 5 p.m. Dude, that's not enough time unless we know someone who's going to keep up with your poor said attitude. What's effing wrong with my attitude? In exchange of money. Someone who's strong enough, ready to receive mental trauma from Then Siro suddenly stopped talking. What ? Siro tapped his shoulder, slightly smiling. I think I might know someone. You know, it's the first thing I noticed once I got here, but I'm just going to comment now. In Uraraka it's illegal to be that pretty. Idru clapped his hands in acknowledgement for what was Uraraka wearing. She was wearing a pink shirt neck floral lace sheer top with long sleeves and a beige tube bra and white briefs. Uraraka giggled. Oh, this top is from Izuku, a gift for our anniversary. Your boyfriend really has a taste, both on clothes and in girls. Mina joined in their conversation. Do you think I would find a man that will spoil me too? She whines. Idru chuckled. We'll both find a man that will spoil us, don't worry. Then the bell rings, indicating a new customer. Welcome to Deja Brews. The three of them said in unison. Then Siro, the black-haired guy still in his usual attire, entered the cafe, followed by the handsome JRK, still in office clothes too, that made him cry last night. What are they doing here? Siro spotted them. Did he just waved at him? And walked towards them. Kirishima. Sorry for barging in while you're on duty. Kaminari told me that you can be found here, so... Well, my boss has a business with you. Idru took a look to the man who was glaring at him with arm crossed. He has so many things to ask, like what is your business? Why are you such a D-head? Is angry your only emotion? But he stuck with, who are you? Which come to the rest of them as surprised. Even the angry guy was shocked for a second but recovered quickly. Why don't you ask round face with the sheer top? He said, grinning and nodding his head toward Uraraka. He turned around to see a gaping Uraraka and a confused-looking Mina. Well? He asked Uraraka. Biba Kugu Katsuki, heir of GZ Company. Uraraka said, not leaving her gaze from the guy. Mina let out a squeal. Z? Isn't that the brand of your pretty clothes right now? He turned around to meet Bakugu to see him proudly smirking and Siro still sheepishly smiling. From the mention of the name, their customers were now whispering and holding out their phones, probably taking a picture and videos of the guy. That top is part of this year's spring collection, Spring Blast Fever, must have cost you a fortune. Base on your job. Bakugu looks around the coffee shop, scoffing. Siro elbowed Bakugu from the side, because he basically said there's no way Uraraka could afford the top just by working in this coffee shop, but he thought she did, so he implied that she must used a large portion of her savings. So, yes, Kirishima, you see Mr. Bakugu here has a, should we move to a more private dash? What are you FNG stuttering for, tape face? Bakugu glared at his companion. Bakushu. Then Siro turned to the customers, bowing. Slightly muttering a polite, sorry, for causing trouble. We really need to talk in private, Kirishima, probably outside with less people and dash. Bakugu returned his attention to Idru and with a demanding voice, not even a questioning tone. Without missing a heartbeat he said, you, be my boyfriend. If Idru heard the customers scream or yell in shock, sounds of the camera shuttering, lights blinding him, and the coffee shop was now practically in a frenzy. He's pretty sure Mina just fainted from behind him, Uraraka dialing someone and saying, Izuku? Oh my god babe, you won't believe this dash. Siro yelling and begging for the customers to please calm down. All of those noises were drowned, because the only thing Idru can hear is like a faint ringing to his ear, and the words, be my boyfriend. Could someone slap him square in the face right now, because there's no way this guy, the future owner of whatever brand Uraraka is wearing, is asking Idru to be his boyfriend. The same Idru Bakugu yelled and practically made fun of last night. What is going on? But one thing is for sure, this isn't another Cinderella story, because last time Idru checked, Cinderella wore glass shoes, not red Crocs. Katsuki is a man of few words, and he's straightforward too. He doesn't know why Siro is making such a fuss, insisting they should brief Kirishima step by step and how, and why he is chosen to be the fake boyfriend. When Siro said he had something in mind, he already hated the idea. Because how can he FNG stomach shitty hair being his fake boyfriend when the guy probably loathes him by now due to last night's incident? If he isn't just that desperate he wouldn't agree to this, but he needs to bring home someone tomorrow, and it's not like he can buy a person in the nearest convenience store to pretend to be his boyfriend. I told you to ask him properly. Siro shakes him by the shoulder, but his voice was drowned by the chaos of the customers. That's exactly what I FNG did. No. Look at him. Siro pointed at Kirishima, who has his mouth agape, staring wildly at him. You broke him, dude. Behind him, the girl with pink hair Pinky was dead. Or meditating, he doesn't know. Round Face was on the phone calling someone, probably her friends already gossiping on what's happening. This is such a drag. Round Face, kick the customers out, he ordered. Round Face drops the phone for a while. What? We can't do that. Then close the coffee shop. No. It's only 5 p.m., we close at 9. It's 4 hours worth of dash. I'll rent the FING cafe for the whole day and even buy your shitty pastries, just close it now. Pinky stood up so quick after hearing him. Really? Finally I can go home early. Then walking to the customers. All right folks, showtime's over. We're closing now. The extras are clearly saddened because the melodrama skit was finally over. He waited for Pinky to close the door of the cafe, turning the sign from open to closed before anyone date to talk again. Can you repeat that again? The redhead asked, just recovering from his shock. Seriously, Katsuki couldn't blame him, one of the richest people in Japan casually asking someone to be their lover, pretty shocking too. Katsuki walks away, then sitting on the side, which table is near the windows. Shiro, you explain. Round face, get me your best-selling coffee here, and while you're at it, pack all those cupcakes and cake slices one by one. Pinky, you help. Then puts out his phone to play Sims Free Play. DMN, he forgot to return the ladder earlier, and now his character King Murder drown in the swimming pool. Round face, and Pinky did what he asked. Did he just hear someone grumbling? Why is he so bossy? Because he is. But he pays them no mind. Shiro sat down on the seat opposite to him, and Shitty Hair got a spare chair to sit on. Shiro brings out the documents and papers necessary for this whole ordeal. Okay, so, Kirishima, let me formally introduce you to the future CEO of GZ Company Holdings, only grandchild of Bakuga Himiko, the current owner of the company, son of current CEO Bakuga Mitsuki, my hot-headed future boss, Bakuga Katsuki. He scoffed to the way Shiro introduced him. He could have said, oh hey dumb hair, this is the GOAT Bakuga Katsuki, save him more time. By the way, where is the real estate agent again? In the park? He needs to get this task completed so he can get more simoleons. Here written are the breach of contract. If you agree to our terms, just sign in down here. Katsuki saw Kirishima took the pile of papers, just flipping the pages one by one, not even bothering to read it. Whoa, wait, can I ask a question? You're already effing asking one. Bakugu, let me handle this. Then Shiro smiled at Kirishima, I'll gladly answer them for you. He's so effing formal. He swears the professionalism is running through Tape Face's blood. You see, Mr. Shiro, I don't have time to go through these bunch of papers because you know how busy man I am. Just tell me quickly, why do I need to become his? Kirishima pointed at him, and what's with that face? Disgust? Boyfriend. Because just yesterday you witnessed on how he called me names, and both of you are strangers to me. Kiri, I thought we're already friends. Shiro joked. Okay, he took back all his praise on how Shiro was the man for the job. Mr. Bakugu here doesn't really want you to be his boyfriend. Kirishima was silent, nodding to Shiro's explanation. Did Shitty Hair believed that Katsuki wanted him to be his boyfriend? He has to laugh. He just need a fake boyfriend for a day, well for 2 days, because as you can see here. Shiro pointed to the paper. The reason is that he is obligated to bring a companion to a friend's wedding, like a +1, you know? For a day. Then this dumb-headed dash, he growled at his assistant, really? Throwing him under the bus? But Shiro just rolled his eyes. Then Kirishima giggled, like a FANG baby. Friend and boss here brag on how he is bringing a boyfriend dash. I didn't brag, Tape Face. And now the president, his grandmother, found out that Bakugu has a boyfriend and lied about his relationship status because his family knew that he was single and all lonely and cheat, so now he is forced to bring a guy home tomorrow. And you're the only person I can think capable doing this job. So why me? Kirishima asked Shiro. He groans. How many questions does he have to ask? And why is his coffee taking so dim and long? Listen, dumb hair. He started, gritting his teeth for emphasis that his patience is wearing off. Tape Face thought it was a good idea, but believe me, I don't want this too, but I have no FNG choice, that you become my fake boyfriend or whatever because he knows your social status dash. Bakugu. I said let me handle this dash. And I am willing to pay you a lot of money, more than you ever imagine if you just take the job. Kirishima thinks for a while. How much are you paying me? Then Pinky arrived, giving him his ordered drinks. Ochako is wrapping the cakes. Geez blasty, how many people are you feeding? Shiro coughed, obviously wanting attention. 300,000 yen for the Bakuga's family dinner, 700,000 yen for the wedding appearance, a total of 1 yen. All clothes, food on Bakuga's expense too, and no transportation needed because both time you'll be picked up either by Bakugu or me. Think about it, Kirishima, all your money-related problems will be solved just to fake pretend date this guy for 2 days. His assistant explained, as usual, Pinky and Shitty Hair stopped malfunctioning. Idru, what the hell? Pinky grabbed Shitty Hair. Idru, huh? What a dumb name too, and starts shaking him violently. 1 yen for 2 days. That's equivalent to our 1-year salary. Then she turned to him, blasty. Fake date me too. I want 1 yen. If you want me to fake date you, wouldn't you be the one who needs to pay me raccoon eyes? Raccoon? He finished drinking his coffee. Can't you afford a waterproof mascara? Pinky gasped, touching her face, then quickly running away from them screaming. A good riddance. Shitty Hair was silent for a while, and he looks like he's frowning. Why such a long face when Katsuki literally offered him a huge amount of money just to fake date him for 2 days, not even full 48 hours? Shitty Hair is basically in for a treat. He took a glance at Shiro, who's looking at him too, then both of them look at Kirishima, who was staring blankly at his empty cup, slightly frowning. And by that moment, Katsuki noticed that sad doesn't suit Kirishima's face. It looks like the emotion is foreign to the happy-go-lucky sunshine guy. He smacked himself for thinking he looks better when smiling, because what the F is that thought? So, what do you say, Kirishima? Shiro asked hopefully. Katsuki doesn't know why, but his anxiety is building up, like he wanted Kirishima to say yes too, but there's no way Kirishima wouldn't say no because no one can say no to 1M yen, so it's all good, no need to worry. No. I'm sorry Mr. Shiro, but dash. Shiro looked surprised by the answer, and he was too. But now he feels anger being rejected, so he stood up. What? I'm basically offering you a huge amount of money and you're declining? Are you out of your goddamn mind for rejecting my offer? What the F is your problem dash? Kirishima stood up too, voice leveling Katsuki's. That's exactly my problem. Your attitude. He was taken aback on how Kirishima yells at his face. Shiro had stood up too, holding Kirishima by the arm. Then in much lower voice but with a pained expression he continued, call me dumb, idiot or whatever, but I'm not accepting your offer. I know I'm out of my mind for not giving in for the 1M yen, but I just can't. Kirishima? What do you mean you can't? Can't do the job? Can't take Bakuga's anger? I swear me too, but dash. You want me to act? Make everyone believe we're in love. I can't even fool myself to think he doesn't loathe me, what more in front of others? This dash Shitty Hair gestured to the three of them. Happened twice now, put me and him in a same room and we'll explode dash. That's why I call him Blasty, someone from far away Yell whispered. Katsuki threw dagger glares to the culprit Pinky, who has now removed her smudgy eye makeup. Looking at them behind the counter and hiding once Katsuki saw her. We can't even stand each other, we always bicker. And what if I fail? Will you put me behind bars or something? Because that 1M yen isn't just a coin you can give out to anyone. Katsuki was silent, so was Shiro, because they both knew Shitty Hair was right. The only reason he agreed to Shiro's proposal is because he desperately needs a fake boyfriend, and Kirishima was the best option because they thought Shitty Hair would accept the offer in a heartbeat. They hadn't thought about their attitudes and temper technically clashing, and if he and Kirishima failed, he basically paid for nothing and he becomes the media toy. He knew they are going to clown him for putting up a fake relationship in front of his family and public, and it could ruin the company's image. He cursed Yumi and her stupid wedding. It's all her fault to begin with. So you're saying the problem is Bakugo? Kirishima seemed to caught off guard on what Shiro asked him. Yes, I mean half of the problem? Because on my part too, I don't know everything about him. What does he like or dislike dash? Shiro clapped his hands, back to his own usual confident self. Then your part of the problem is solved, because that is what those papers are for. Bakugo Katsuki Manual 0.1. Everything is listed from hobbies, his personal information, favorite foods, what time of the day he prefers to have sec dash. Katsuki choked. What? You did not put that in those. Chill bud, there's no way I would know. I'm just trying to lighten up the mood, so Kirishima, the only problem is the other half, right? Katsuki now turned to face Kirishima, who is now covering his face with the bunch of paper. What is he doing? But nonetheless nodding what Shiro is explaining. Then we're settled. Both Kirishima and Katsuki looked at Shiro in bewilderment. They are settled? Huh? What? Shiro rolled his eyes and asked for the bill using hand gestures to round face. Since Bakugo is the one who needs your help, not the other way around, we promise that he will behave for the times you two were together. He will? Kirishima asked, and at the same time he asked, I will? But then, of course I if will, he corrected himself. Think of this as a mission, sure. I mean Kirishima, you'll get your money, I get Baba's approval. We work together, everybody happy blah blah blah. It's just for 2 days anyway. He tried to sound to be more pursuing. Shiro was right, he needs Kirishima's help, not the other way around. If behaving himself for 2 days over everything else, then fine. But still it looks like Kirishima isn't convinced by his sweet talk. Yes, that's the sweetest talk you'll get from him. How do you even know I'm gay? Kirishima asked, to which Katsuki laughed. Like genuinely, he had expected more serious question, but oh boy, this guy is interesting. We don't. I just had an idea on who could be Bakugu's fake boyfriend, then go from there. Considering you asked for the price afterwards instead of asking us, what makes you think I'm gay, first kinda speaks for itself to me. Or am I just reading it the other way? Shiro said, grinning. Seriously though, Katsuki will never fire him from GZ. Ever. Yeah, well no. Kirishima timidly answered, faint blush creeping up to his cheeks. For someone who looks so manly, he sure has feminine face, he almost looks like. Pretty? Not that Katsuki will admit he still has shitty hair though. So if I ever agree to this, do we need to practice? Like, you know, the red hair asked, looking everywhere but Katsuki. No wonder why the red-haired man keeps fidgeting nervously. That, I figured it would be better for you and Bakugu to just wing it. Not practiced, not rehearse. Just think of him as your actual boyfriend. You had a lover before? Shiro asked again, while round face brings in the bill, 30,000 yen for all the cakes? That's the same price as the lemon sponge cake a size of his palm he bought last time for Yumi's craving days, and it doesn't even taste good. Yeah, he's rich, but he knows that bakery was overpricing the goods. He bet these cakes taste like shit too. Officially? Just casual hookups. Kirishima admitted. Katsuki figured, for someone who's working at the bar, of course Kirishima has casual hookups here and there, maybe even a lot of one-night stands too. He didn't know why he felt something after Kirishima admitted that, probably just him being jealous that he is more handsome and richer, but for the past months it's only been him and his hands. But what FING ever could then think of Bakugu as one of your casual hookups? Katsuki cringed. The future CEO of GZ isn't just someone's casual hookup. The Bakugu surname itself screams regal and legal. He's not going to settle for any less. So if he is really doing this fake dating sheet, he'll be the best at it, that no one will notice that everything is a sham. Katsuki will be the best fake FING boyfriend ever, that everybody will think it's real. Okay, well, then Bakugu. He meets Kirishima's eyes, holding out a hand for him to take. You got yourself a deal. Should I call you Katsuki? No? Katsuki smirked, then took Kirishima's hand, gripping firmly, and there's no denying it's the start of a bond that's never been seen before. Nice doing business with you, Idru. What? Bro, I'm so sorry. If I just knew Shiro will do that, I wouldn't say anything about your whereabouts. Kaminari said while wiping the counter table. After doing a pact with the devil, he went straight directly to Denki's bar while Mina went home, Uraraka going out for a date. He endlessly rant all the crazy things that happened to him. Shiro said he will deliver all pastries to a place, then drive Bakugu home, then go to Kirishima's house, saying he will give the 100,000 yen down payment he had asked and the clothes he will wear tomorrow. Idru really doesn't want to, but he was blinded by the price. 1 yen for 2 days? Bakugu was crazy. He thought he lost the chance when he said no first, but it looks like Shiro and Bakugu was practically begging him to agree. If the only option was to fake date a poorly mannered Bakugu to have 1 yen instantly, then he'll do it over and over again. As he said on the first time they met, he made it clear that he'll go through such great lengths for his siblings to have a bright future. Even if it meant dating Lucifer, Idru will do it. Nah, it's good, plus you practically gave me another job opportunity, right? He tried to say cheerfully, but nervous is what the tone he gave off. Kaminari frowns at him. I've seen enough romantic movies to know these kind of setup wouldn't end up well. What if you fell in love? What if Explosion Boy hurt you? What if dash? Geez, dude, for 2 days? It's not like I'm going to fake date him for a month. He argued back. It'll be a problem if he needs to date Bakugu for a year, because really it's either he'll going to kill himself because of unrequited love, or he'll kill Bakugu for being a JRK the whole time. Bakugu isn't that bad. Another voice joins in. then the man taking a seat beside him. Zero you JRK? I thought you'd just like to hang out with my bro Kiri, so I told you where he is. Not selling his soul to Satan, his blonde friends accused, causing for him and Zero to laugh. I'm sorry Kaminari, but I'm doing my boss and friend a favor here. I'd like to order a Cosmopolitan again if you don't mind. As Kaminari makes the order, Zero turned to him. I meant it, Bakugo isn't that bad. Sure he is. When we first met too, I even thought 2 days after he took on CO trainee I was ready to give up, but once you get to know him. Idru nodded but not really convinced. Do you know why we got here the first time we met? Idru shrugged. Maybe to unwind? To find a good F-dash? You tell him. Because those are the reason people goes to club and bars. I know how stressed he is lately, and I heard there's this bar here in Shinjuku, so I made him go here, you know, drink a little and relax, and make him buy the whiskey for my dad's birthday. Zero laughs. It's my dad's 50th birthday, and Bakugo knows how my dad likes a good taste of alcohol. He promised last year to buy him a gift, so. What is Zero trying to imply here? He remains silent. Then in a more soft, almost an adoration voice, Bakugo made me deliver those pastries to the orphanage for children he is sponsoring earlier, if you're thinking where those cakes went. Bakugo wasn't even a CEO in training when he started to sponsor the orphanage. I don't know Kirishima, you tell me, would a bad person ever think of helping helpless children? Idru shakes his head, frowning slightly. Are we sure we're talking about the same Bakugo who called him names yesterday and the Bakugo that Zero is telling him now? Bakugo donates to local charities too, and sometimes visits a hospital for the terminal ill people to grant a wish, kinda thing. He knows that only wish thing, an ill person is granted a wish whatever may be and it'll come true. Like if you want a Spider-Man theme party you'll have it, you want a Nintendo SWH? They'll give it. Look, I'm not all for glorifying Bakugo. It's no lie that he still lose his temper and curse everything and everyone. You think he's a D-dash? Some people do too. Even Bakugo himself knew it too. And he is trying to change that, even he won't admit. Please don't be one of those people who judge so quick. Give him a chance. I'm already giving it a chance. I'm now his boyfriend, aren't I? He gave a small smile to Zero, to which the man smiled back at him. Last night we're supposed to be here until midnight, then Bakugo wanted to go home early, right? Turns out his baby cousin in his mother's side was rushed to the hospital for having a high fever. I know that he is stressed, worried, and shouldn't took his anger on you, but we're all humans. We kinda just snapped if something pushes us on edge. Well, true. Because he hadn't meant to yell at Bakugo either. It's because that Idru was just tired the whole day and Bakugo was the final straw. So they are both guilty. I'm sorry for ranting on you, Kirishima, but I promised Bakugo isn't that bad, and if I were you I'll go home now. You should look forward meeting the elites tomorrow. Not everyone has the privilege to date a young entrepreneur. Zero said, winking at him. Idru blushed at the thought. Never in his life he thought dating a rich young man, but he quickly snapped back, taking a reality check. Fake date? Not actually dating, because if Bakugo isn't that desperate there's no way he'll take a look at him twice. As if on cue, Kaminari got back holding Zero's order. Don't worry Kiri, I've got this. Rest well for your tomorrow. Job. Or date. He smiled and nodded. Alright, I'm head out, see you soon I guess. But I'm still allowed to go anywhere until noon, right? He asked Zero. Unless Sir Bakugo made some changes about your schedule, then yes. Got it, see you later brothers. He waved goodbye to his two friends. Yeah, friends because Zero is a friend now, and walked back home. The first thing greeted him was yelling noises, and his siblings and parents were all over him. Nisen, there's a big box for you. Idru, what are these? They just arrived, suddenly carried by men in suit. I was scared. Pretty. Son, what is the meaning of this? The men told us it was from your boyfriend. What? Our son has a boyfriend? I don't know, Eiko, you tell me. Nisen got a boyfriend? What's a boyfriend? These looks expensive. Isuk is drawing on the shoe box. Whoa, calm down everyone, what? And Isuk, please don't draw on my shoe box. Idru scolded his baby brother, who frowns at him but stopped drawing using the crayons. Ira, could you please get those boxes to my room? And Mom, Dad, I need to talk to you. He asked his sister to gather all his belongings courtesy of Bakugo and scooped up his baby brother Isuk, then sit to the couch in the living room. His twin brothers, Aiken and Aiden, and his parents trail to follow him, sitting on the empty chairs from the table set. He didn't think on how to break the news to his parents because he was literally offered the job today, plus he needs to talk to Bakugo because why did he ordered his men to say it was from a boyfriend rather than saying it was, well, anything else than saying it's from a boyfriend. But his family knew that he wouldn't buy something from the internet considering how luxurious the boxes look like. So Mom and Dad, I have a boyfriend. He started. What he meant to say is he took on a job being someone's fake boyfriend, but the morals will get into him and his family will start questioning him more, so he figured it's better to say it this way. His family just blinks at him. We know, the men told us that. One of the twins, Aiden, commented. So yeah, those were the gifts are from. So since when? His mom stepped closer and getting his brother from his grasp. Quick think, what should he say? Years? Months? Weeks? 3 hours ago? 2 months ago. Yeah, that could work. Not so recent, not so long. Where did you meet him? And will we meet him? His father now asked. Denki's bar, and not yet but soon hopefully. That wasn't a lie, he really met Bakugo in his friend's bar. Your boyfriend must be rich. Did you know he had gifted you clothes and shoes from GZ? Ira now emerged from his room, grinning at him. What? Aren't those really expensive clothes? My classmates' parents wear those, right? Aiken shakes his twin brother by the arm. Idru just smiles at them sheepishly. His boyfriend must be rich. For the fact he owns GZ. Yeah, but he's not that rich, lies. From renting the whole bar and coffee shop, buying Yamazaki whiskey, the Rolls-Royce, AP watch, and basically buying all the sweets and pastries from the shop, offering him 1 yen to fake date him for 2 days, Bakugo is hella rich. But he won't scare his family on how his fake boyfriend is top tier in social status. He must truly love you then. You know how rich BSs only marry those other people who are rich too, considering we aren't, but he stills date you. Come on Dad, we're not getting married. I'm still young and I promise not to marry until my siblings finished off college. Before he settle in and be married to someone, he'll make sure all of his siblings graduated and living a good life. As the eldest, it's his responsibility to look after them, since his parents aren't getting any younger. You know we're not holding you back from being happy, right, Idru? Whatever you do in life, you already made us proud. His mom said, sitting beside him and then in giving him a light hug since his brother is on her lap. Don't go sappy on me, Mom. I'm not getting married anytime soon. Who knows? Maybe a week later my boyfriend breaks up with me. He chuckles lightly and kissing her on the forehead, and he leans in too, kissing his brother on his chubby plump baby cheeks. It's true though, after 2 days it's all over, like nothing happened, so it wasn't a big deal. Niece, and don't you dare. Not until I meet your rich boyfriend. Do you think I could convince him to buy me YSL makeup? He sighed. My boyfriend is not an admirer. So, what's his name? He can't say Bakugo's name, can he? What should he say? Katz? Baku? Suki? What nickname do Bakugo has? Alright, interrogating your brother time is over. Everybody, it's bedtime now. Aiden, go to your rooms. Ira, take Isuk for a minute while I ready our bed. Idru, you can go upstairs and check out what your boyfriend gave. He nodded and went to his room. It looks like Ira did a good job of taking care of his belongings because the boxes were nowhere to be found. Clothes and shoes beautifully spread on his bed, black transparent vertical striped short sleeves shirt, a black ripped skinny jeans, he doesn't know if it will fit him considering his thighs, and a casual dark brown leather shoes. His phone dinged. No. Shitty hair, you seen the clothes? Oh, how cute. First message and it's about his hair. He doesn't even need to ask someone on who is the one texting him. Yet in X, I guess. And immediately a message was received. No, don't thank me, it's part of the deal. I already transferred the down payment to your account. Make sure to read everything written on the DMN paper. He internally rolled his eyes. Yes, whatever. He haven't replied yet when there's another message again. No, I can't pick you up tomorrow because I had an urgent meeting, so come to my office at 10 a.m. I'll send you the address. Don't worry, I'll pay for your transport fees too. No. All of that and okay? No. Whatever, do you have any questions? What do you want him to say? Is Bakugu starting an argument again? How is your family? Like what should I expect? No. Mamita's okay, it's my mom who is kinda strict but don't mind that witch. Mamita? No. My grandma, she likes to be called Mamita, she's attached to her roots. She's half Japanese? No. Nah, full Japanese, but she said her aunt who took care of her when she was a kid is somewhere from the Caribbean. Idru or where? No. GTG, meet me tomorrow. Should he say goodnight? Okay, he'll say goodnight. Goodnight. Should he address him too? Okay, let's address Bakugu's first name. Katsuki. No. It's fine if you don't call me by my name, no one is around anyway. It's a good practice. No. Whatever. Hey, it's really a good practice though. No. Good night, Idru. He gives a small laugh. Hey, this couldn't be bad. Come to think of it, he gets 1M, pretty clothes and fake date a young millionaire. Who knows if paparazzi follows Bakugu? He should be prepared too if someone will to take his pictures. Idru changed the contact name from unknown to Katsuki. The only reason is that if someone from the Bakugu family saw his phone by accident, it's a little sketchy if he calls him own boyfriend by last name. Oh, and he made sure to put heart emojis too. Oh well, tomorrow he'll do his best to act he likes Bakugu and hope for the best. All for 1M yen. Idru didn't go to work. He spent the whole morning panicking on what hairstyle he should do, and should he remove his tongue piercing too? Would Bakugu's grandmother appreciate his appearance or no? It's about 9 a.m. when he realized that he was unrestless since 6 a.m., and Bakugu wasn't even his real boyfriend and his family isn't really for him to impress. He should just take it easy. Like any other job he had done. 9:30 and he finally finishes dressing up. He wore all what Bakugu gave him, but his hair is now styled in half a bun, and a small portion of hair in his right side was braided. He kept the tongue piercing and made sure to put his black ear piercing too. He looked at himself in the mirror. The jeans were too tight for his usual style but it hugs his thighs and legs perfectly. He rolled up the hem of the briefs a bit to reveal his ankles, displaying the small smiley tattoo, but the eyes were X perfectly in his right ankle, a tattoo he gotten when he was he supposed to wear the shirt like this? It's kinda embarrassing him wearing a see-through. He knows he has a nice body, even working on those abs, it just looks so daring. Even his nipples can be seen. Thank God for the vertical stripes. But he's done. He decided to go to Bakugu's office in Shibuya. Just a 15-minute train ride. He got this. Sorry sir, I can't let you see Mr. Bakugu if your name isn't on the list on the guests he's expecting. He got through the building and passing the guards just by telling he is here for Bakugu. The guards just took a glance of him and let him pass. Maybe it's the clothes. But in the reception, he should have known that he can't pass that easily. Sorry miss, my phone died, I'd like to call. Katsuki, but yeah, how about you call him and I'll wait, he pleaded. He didn't realize he forgot to charge his phone last night and spent the hours panicking this morning to even notice. He was on the train when he saw the 10% battery on his phone. I can't do that sir, I'm sorry, Mr. Bakugu is either busy or in a meeting right now, I can't disturb him. He glanced at the wall clock. 10:30, Bakugu is going to kill him. I swear I'm legit, I need to see him. I'd like to show you his text that he's expecting me here but dash. There you are. I thought you slept in and forgot you're supposed to meet me. He heard footsteps, and sure it was Bakugu and Zero walking towards him. Is he hallucinating or Bakugu is smiling at him, and arms wide spread? Is he going to hug him? He saw Zero smirking beside Bakugu. Oh God, he's getting closer. Then next thing he knew he was engulfed in a hug. A hand on his waist and on the side of his face, Bakugu's lips pressing to his temples, kissing him? But Bakugu whispered, "Why are you leaving?" He swears Bakugu's voice has a dangerous tone, so he shivered. But then when he pulls away, Bakugu was grinning at him, patting his head. He stood there frozen for a while until Bakugu looked him straight in the eyes as if saying, "We have audience, you sheethead, act now." Then he was snapped back from reality. He gives his best smile and give Bakugu a teddy bear hug. "Katsuki, I missed you." He heard Zero laughing and by now he's pretty sure the receptionist was dead. People around them, Bakugu's employees, start staring at them with wide eyes. Some were murmuring, some were holding out their phones, probably making a new scandal about their boss. I'm sorry baby, but she wouldn't let me go and see you, my phone died so I can't contact you. The way Bakugo stay stilled after addressing him as baby was a sight to see. 1-to-1, they're tied. But Bakugo recovered quickly and turned to face the receptionist. Why didn't you let him pass? The woman blinks twice to him and faced Bakugo. I'm sorry sir, his name isn't Dash. He doesn't need to be on the DMN list, he's my FING boyfriend. Now that came as a shock to everyone around them, hearing collective gasps. The noise are getting louder by the second. He took Bakugo's hand and intertwined them. It's okay Katsuki, they didn't know. He smiled apologetically to the woman. To his surprise, Bakugo didn't make more scene, but he tightens the grip on his hand. Next time he goes here, just send him to my office directly, okay? Bakugo calmly speaks. He doesn't know on why is the receptionist still staring at Bakugo in shock. Probably because he said a full sentence without profanities. But nonetheless the woman nods her head. Okay lovebirds, time to go out. Shiro announced as Bakugo tossed him the car keys. Bakugo drags him and starts walking, still hand in hand. You better not kill us tape face, I'd like to see my children grow up. Idru knows Bakugo wasn't pertaining to their children but mere his children alone, but these people doesn't know that. As they pass, he gives a polite bow and small wave, smiling sheepishly to the employee around them. When they got in a car, they've been silent for a whole minute. Then both of them started to laugh. Dude, what the hell? What was that? He playfully smacks Bakugo's upper arm. Shut up shitty hair, same thing about you. Baby? So you have a pet name for me now, huh? Bakugo teased back. Idru blushed. I thought that's a good payback for kissing me. I didn't even kissed you. Yes you did. I'll never kiss your dumb butt. You just did, you a-hole. They stared at each other challengingly, but he lost his seriousness when he saw Bakugo's lips quirk into a smile, then they laughed again. When he caught Shiro's eyes in the rear mirror, he looks like he was smiling. You look good. Bakugo deadpanned, eyes trained on the road. They're your clothes. Exactly. Then the whole ride was silent. He didn't know he fell asleep until Bakugo was tapping his face slightly. If you don't get up, I'll kick your butt. Well, that woke him up. Where are we? Well, Kirishima, I heard you like cars, so hop off because you're in the Bakugo's car collection garage. And when Shiro said collections, he didn't lie. Different type of cars, about 100? He doesn't know, but it's a lot. Maybe they are parked by date of released or by model. What the hell? How can rich people just own all of this? The rich. What's your favorite car? He asked Bakugo, who's walking beside him. I don't have a favorite, I just pick whatever. When they are in the main gate, which is as expected automated, designed in black and gold, pillars holding the iron gate, 2 kanji characters for Bakugo embedded in the middle. Seriously, how much money did they pay for the custom gate? The mansion was American style, like one of those celebrity mansion in Las Vegas. Holy shit. The first thing that's caught his attention was a marble sculpture reads GZ in the middle of a fountain. Then from here he can see people, maids, butler. In front of the house, gate. Is Bakugo a prince? The king? He refused to believe until now. Bakugo took his hands and linked them together again. Just be you, no one's pressuring you. Yeah, Bakugo's right. It's just for show anyway. It's not like he is meeting his future family-in-law for real. A guy in butler uniform steps forward, bowing to both of them. Young Enter Katsuki, it's been a while. The headmistress will come to greet you shortly. It's been a while? Didn't Bakugo live in here? But where's grandmother? The butler lifted his head. Forgive me, I don't know the headmistress' whereabouts. My order was just to greet you and your. He looks up to him, boyfriend, and give him the house tour until she arrives. Bakugo let go of his hand, to his dismay. Because the gesture was nice. He already missed the warmth. Idru follow him, I'll just go change and take off these FNG clothes. Bakugo gestured to his office attire. He nodded, but face still blank. If he's overwhelmed by all of these, it's not on him. Don't try to miss me too much. Bakugo leans in and kissed his cheek and walks away. He rolled his eyes. He was having fun teasing the hell out of him, didn't he? The butler raised an eyebrow in question. He blushed. What the hell? He's supposed to act in front of people. If he didn't act sweet, they're going to get busted. He's the clingy one, trust me. About an hour long of house tour and he's tired. And goddamn hungry too. Pretty much the Bakugo mansion is embellished with high open ceilings, custom cabinetry, all brown and beige aesthetic, top-of-the-line appliances, private infinity pool, separate grotto, wet bar, exercise room, mini theater room, and much more. Idru was sure if they play hide and seek here, he'll never be found. Bakugo was living the best life. If it was Idru's, he wouldn't work anymore. He'll just enjoy the life of being rich. So, you said earlier that it's been a while since you saw Katsuki. Why is that? Didn't he live here? The butler gave him that questioning look again. Aren't you supposed to already know at least that much, Mr. Kirishima? Of course, if the two of them were dating, he should know where Bakugo is living or the things he do, but he does not and let his mouth slip. Yeah, but, I figured it's about work. At this point he tired to say whatever and he's not sure if makes sense, but I see. The young emissary is known to be as he is. So I get it on why you don't. The truth is that when the son of the headmistress died, the young emissary was forced to live outside the city, and lived 10 years there simply in a small apartment with his grandparents in Mitsuki's side of the family, as Mitsuki became the chief executive of the family business. When the young emissary was 15 and summoned back here, he had a difficult time adjusting, being overwhelmed by all the luxury and responsibility ready to be thrown at him by the future. Young MSDR's coping skill was really bad. He seems can't adjust to his new life, so at the age of 18, the headmistress decided that he should be given a condo unit for him to live alone. It's a luxury type of condominium but not as opulent as the main house. He only goes here every now and then. At first it was every other day turned to weekends, turned to once a month until just once or twice a year. Oh, yeah, because Idru has nothing to say. To think he had thought Bakugo was always a stuck-up JRK because he grew up spoiled and rich. Ding, he kinda felt bad now. All of us were happy every time the young MSTR visit, because even though he took all of his mom's attitude and appearance, he still resembles the headmistress' son, his dad, the one we used to call young SR before. The one I took care and guided since he was young. Now another generation after, though only for a short PRD of time. Idru nodded. Even the people here are attached to Bakugo, even they claim they only took care of him for 5 years. I should ask the cook to prepare the dishes. You can visit the young SR in his room. The one with grenades and F-off stickers all over the door? The butler laughs for the first time the whole time they are together. Yes, that one. Now if you'll excuse me. He bowed and left. Katsuki was chilling in his room only with his boxers on when he heard a knock. He figured it must be Kirishima and the tour was over. He opened it and Kirishima just passed him going straight to his bed laying down. Shitty hair didn't even take a single glance at him. Oi sheethead. That's my bed. Get up. Man, I'm so tired, give me a break. Kirishima rolled over grabbing one of his pillows, covering his face and groans. You unsanitary moron. Don't touch my things and don't lay on my effing bed. Give me that. He yanked the pillow but Kirishima pulled back, resisting. No. No. Is he 5? What the F dash? Who has time to play games? All right. Katsuki does. If Kirishima wanted to be difficult, then he'll be difficult. You want my pillows? Katsuki grabbed the pillows, then die from my FNG pillows, and covers Kirishima's face trying to suffocate him. As expected, Kirishima wails trying to breathe, but the man was dying from laughter and not from Katsuki's assault. Katsuki tried to hover above Kirishima sitting on top of him, just below the redhead's stomach to gain more control of the fight. Die. But he was aware of his own laughter too. Kirishima managed to hold both of his wrists as Katsuki loosened the grip from the pillows, and then Kirishima moved his hips, causing for him to bounce and completely letting go of the pillows. The redhead puts Katsuki's arms behind him. Both of his wrists was only held by Kirishima's left hand. He saw Kirishima's gaze left his face for a while like he was looking something behind Katsuki, then proceeds to grab the back of his neck to lower him, lips touching Katsuki's neck. He expected Kirishima to SCK or kiss his neck, but shitty hair didn't really do anything apart from just lips ghosting over again and again. Is he FNG teasing him? So if they're FNG doing this, they should do it right. He yanked his arms back and pinned Kirishima's arms above his head, and when Shitty Hair's eyes widened, he knew it was his win. Katsuki figured if he is paying for Kirishima, might as well have fun with his money. It's Katsuki's first time being with a guy, so he feels excited and kinda thrilled. Katsuki, Kirishima whispered, but it sounded like a warning. A warning of another wrestling war? It's on. Katsuki isn't giving up. Yeah. You effing love saying my name, huh? He grinds down, smirking at the boy under him. Kirishima bit down on. Or was it a groan? Oh, so Katsuki didn't satisfy him? Is that it? What was that, Idru? He grinds down again, making sure that Kirishima no Katsuki can give pleasure too. So when he was sure that Kirishima and his hands found Katsuki's hips, he knew he is on the lead on this shitty game. Bingo. Katsuki I hope you have an explanation on how you decided it's better to eat off your boyfriend's face before eating lunch and introducing him to your own grandmother. Katsuki turned his head so quick that he was afraid it'll snap. But still he remained seated on top of Kirishima. There stood his grandmother with an unimpressed look holding out his room's card key, and Yamamoto the butler looking anywhere but the two of them. Katsuki scans the scene, pillows on the floor, messy bedsheet, him only in boxers and breathing due to earlier's wrestling game on top of a flustered and messy hair Kirishima. It looks like. Come on Yamamoto, I'll let them finish having SSC. I can't believe I get to see my own grandson in action. Kids nowadays, tch. I think I'll need therapy. Grandma what the F dash? Here sweetie try that. Bakugu's grandmother busied herself ordering the maids into putting different dishes on Idru's plate. They are now in dining area, on a long but table, about 12 people capacity, 2 grand chandeliers illuminating the room, with a table filled with too many delicacies Idru couldn't name. He was seated on a chair that's opposite to Bakugu vertically, while his grandmother was sitting 1 chair apart beside her grandson, but putting an effort to carry the conversation. Oh no, mamita, I'm full. Thanks, he politely refused and sang sorry to the maid. You're too sweet Idru dear. She chuckles, then she turned her attention to Bakugu. You are so lucky, how'd you manage to find a guy that's lovely as he, you brat? He blushed at the compliment as she pinches Bakugu's cheek. What a cute grandmother-grandson relationship. Bakugu rolled his eyes and continued to munch his food angrily. After being caught by the grandma earlier, they quickly pull themselves together in silence, because it was awkward as hell. Now Bakugu has a black tank top on with black jogger, breathes 1 foot up in the chair, a phone in his hand while they eat lunch together, like a rebel teenager. Idru noticed that he was in a foul mood after what happened, which confuses him because he thought Bakugu did a great job pretending earlier, which is the point of this whole fake dating thing. No ma'am, it's me who is lucky that I found your grandson. Idru said. Bakugu met his gaze. Thank you for inviting me for lunch again, though I don't want to intrude and disturb a woman as busy as you. He heard Bakugu snort, but he glares at him as if to say, I'm doing my job here, Yuji. The president looks at him fondly. Now up close, he can see that Bakugu didn't inherit anything from her appearance. The woman was about only 5 feet 0 inches tall, with brown hair. Some of it were already gray because of her age, hazelnut-colored irises, but what stands out was her beauty mark on her upper lips, just below her left nostrils. You know how there's a saying that people with moles on that position was going to be rich and will be handed fame and recognition? Funny how moles can decide a fate of a person. But what surprised him is that how grandmother dresses. She only wore a blue button-up shirt with white collar and a long white skirt with white and brown sandals. He was expecting more of a Queen Elizabeth II clothing because really, they are now inside a palace. And Idru feels like a prince. I don't know what you saw in him, dearie, but thank you for putting up with my little devil. He noticed how gracefully she eats her food while Bakugu, on the other hand, has breadcrumbs all over the table, his drink spilled earlier too. Well, to answer her question, money. It's what he saw in Bakugu, though her grandson was the one to offer him that, and she didn't need to know that. Eat properly, you big baby. Grandmother took a towel and wiped Bakugu's lips, spaghetti sauce on his face. He gives out a light chuckle. As expected, Bakugu swatted her hands and pulls away. But Bakugu being babied by his grandma was a sight to see. So you met in a bar in Shinjuku, you say? Grandma asked them both. He nodded while Bakugu said, "You deaf or something, Baba?" They stick with the story that they met in a bar and Idru thought Bakugu was kinda cute despite his temper, then asking for his phone number and it just went from there. As you know, a great philosopher once said, "A club isn't the best place to find a lover, so the bar is where I go." Ed Sheeran 2017 beat C before coronavirus. She frowns and shakes her head. Isn't that a place for a temporary fix? He knows she wants to say, temporary F-, but can't say it. Or maybe fix like if you are stressed out you can just forget all your problems and have a drink, or literally just call someone, hook up and have a one-night stand as if it'll fix everything just for a night. Of course it's evident that the president wouldn't agree to that kind of dating ideal. Idru knows that these elites meet people through introduces, like personally. "It's true ma'am, but I just help my friends sometimes." Kaminari? He owns the bar. "I'm not a customer in there." Idru explains laughing, though there's nothing wrong if people want to drink or have fun, they're young and free, but there's a rich boomer lady he needs to impress so he'll do his best to defend his work and his relationship with his fake boyfriend politely. Also they come to an agreement that the only lie they would say is that they are in a relationship but everything from what's their job or who are his parents remains true. Because Idru couldn't lie about things like that, saying he was a manager or has a decent work but isn't, saying he had rich parents when they aren't. Bakugu agreed too, even saying, "When they ask me why it took me long to introduce you to them, we can use your sad story as an excuse. Because you know how rich people expects their family to be wedded to only rich people too?" Yeah. Bakugu thought it was a good idea to use his background so that their fake relationship could sell. He wasn't mad at it. At the end of the day he'll get his money. Himiko pulls Bakugu's ear, causing for the blonde to yelp. "Why didn't you bring Idru sooner here? You know I would love to meet him." But "Please don't kill my boyfriend until I get to marry him." He jokes and that made Himiko laugh. "You love him that much, huh?" She teases him, knife pointing to his face, wiggling her eyebrow. Whether it's a warning or just a gesture, he doesn't know. Idru puts up his best smile. "I do ma'am." While Bakugu rubs his reddened ear, grumbling and muttering, "Stupid old lady and stupid shitty hair." "Wait, why is he stupid? And I expect that you love him too, don't you, Katsuki?" Bakugu rolled his eyes, gaze on his phone but nonetheless giving a nod. "So how many times Katsuki been in that bar? Too many? Because still, as future CEO he can't be relaxing too much or seen out there partying too many times dash. About thrice only Baba, and I'm only with stupid tape face, it's not like I'm taking my sheet easy." Bakugu said with a firm tone. "What car do you use, honey? The company cars or dash? What car do I use almost every day? The Black Wraith. It's not like I'm going in here every day to drive different FANG cars." Young's language. "Shut up." Himiko just sighs, but then for a minute her aura changes. Like it went from curious to a more doubtful look, as she shared a look with Yamamoto, then the butler excuses himself and left them. "I see." Himiko then continues to eat her food in peace. Idru was kinda nervous, or was it his imagination that grandmother is kind of mad? Is it because Bakugu's cursing? Yes, it must be it. Don't tell me they already been busted. Bakugu noticed it too, so he coughs, trying to change the topic. "I'm bringing him to Yumi's wedding." Ah, that wedding, his last and final appearance with Bakugu. Actually, if Zero just said for the first time that Bakugu needed a fake boyfriend so that he can attend an ex-wedding, he might do it for free, like helping a bro out. He pretended to be Mina's boyfriend once so her ex can get off her back. But no, Zero and Bakugu went all formal, offering him money and sheet. It's not like he hated it though, but the first time they mentioned it, they said it's only a friend's wedding, not Bakugu's ex-wedding. Idru only learned it by the papers Zero gave him. And he might not know Yumi, but he thinks he knows her, probably from Ira or the twins. Kids know fashion and modeling industry better than he. Now that got grandmother all happy and excited again. "You better. I want the whole world to know my grandson had found love." He choked. "The whole world?" He looks at Bakugu staring at his grandmother with wide eyes. "Ha, the F, you mean the whole world?" Himiko laughs slightly, dining towel covering her mouth as she wipes a non-existent stain on her lips. I mean, you know on how Yumi would want her wedding to be recorded, right? I thought it's going to be private. Bakugo said in bewilderment. And since that's what Bakugo thought, that was the detail written to the paper. A wedding for family and close friends only. That is what Naoki wants, but Yumi wanted that her once-in-a-lifetime experience be recorded, so if her husband has no say, so can you. Besides, she basically grew up with cameras on her face. She turns to him, right Idru? Asking about his opinion. I think if the bride say so, if it's what she wanted then she can have it, it's her own wedding. See? Even your boyfriend agrees. Seriously, sweetie, how do you put up with Katsuki's dumbness? Dumb? I am the one who's dumb. Idru and Himiko both shrugged their shoulders at the same time. Yamamoto arrived, then he whispered something to grandmother as she nods. Well, it was nice meeting you, Idru, but I'm sorry I have to go now and our lunchtime together is going to be cut short, you know, a busy grandmom as usual. He shakes his head and saying it was his pleasure meeting her and thanking her for a wonderful lunch. I like him, she said to Bakugo with no emotions and proceeds to walk away as the maids pick up the empty plates on the table. Once it was only Bakugo and him and no one are within ear reach. Well, that was something. Bakugo finished his sentence as he nods. They can't say it was a success because Himiko's face was a minute happy then unreadable then angry, he doesn't know. They can't say it was a fail too, because considering she uses his first name to address him, expecting him to be Bakugo's +1 in the wedding and saying directly to Bakugo's face that she liked Idru, is far from failed. Mission. But still it was a 50, so when will I get the remaining 200,000 yen? He asked, because seriously he thinks he did a good job and he wanted to buy his family new clothes for summer, and maybe a barbecue grill too, and he was already planning a trip overseas with his family after he got his money. Should he bring Mina and Denki too? It's going to be so much fun. Bakugo grunts and stood up leaving him alone for a while. Idru wonders how Bakugo is okay with this, paying a whole sum of money for fake dating, and basically lying to everyone even himself. Do you know how much Idru tried to trick his brain every time he needs to act he loves him if they have an audience? He keeps thinking he's your boyfriend, so that he can stomach holding Bakugo's hand or calling him pet names, even defending him from his grandmother. It's not that he hates Bakugo, but he was a stranger. Met for only 2 days? Bakugo's handsome, diamante aura which Idru likes the most. He likes everything manly and Bakugo was the definition of manly, not to mention he's rich as sheet, he's not gonna lie, but still it isn't enough for Idru to just do couple ly things with him. But he thinks that maybe Siro wanted them to just wing it so that they can learn more about each other instead of practicing it like a role play, then all of their relationship was a lie. But for now, his relationship with Bakugo is considered formal and pure business only. When Bakugo came back with a paycheck on his hand then shoving it to Idru's face, he just laughed it off. Pleasure working with you, baby. Then winking at the fuming blonde-haired guy. Shut the F up or I'll choke you with it. Kankawai. I like it, he laughs again, flicking his tongue. It became a habit now since he has a tongue piercing, as they both heard laughters from the maids who were passing by at the moment. He swears Bakugo has pink tint in his cheeks but covers it with his scowling. So suddenly I'm in love with a stranger, I can't believe she's mine, now all I see is you, fresh eyes, fresh eyes. Katsuki was now in pub, his usual chilling place about just 20 minutes away from the main house. After all that happened today, he wanted to clear his head. First of all, what the F is today? Katsuki swears he hated Kirishima but then after today, just a single FING day, he thought he could tolerate him just fine. And he even liked his shitty hair now. And it messes with his mind. Katsuki wasn't someone who gets attracted easily, so it was a wonder on what potion did shitty hair used on him. Don't get him wrong, he said he can tolerate shitty hair, not saying he likes him, okay? That's different. But still, it took him 6 months to get close to Siro. Heck, it even took him about 3 months for him to try and talk normally to him without cussing him and shit. So why does one day after? Well, to his defense it's been 3 days today, but still that was a short PRD, and he thought, oh well maybe fake dating Kirishima couldn't be so bad. It was supposed to be bad. Katsuki groans as his untouched drink was just sitting on the counter. Why the F? It was messing with his head when literally nothing major happened. Except for the fact earlier that Kirishima was acting when shitty hair stared to fake kissing his neck because the dumb-haired beach knew his grandmother was watching them, while Katsuki act like that because he wanted to, not because he knew someone was watching. Maybe it was the SXL frustration building up. Maybe he needs a good F dash. Yobaku? What's up? Someone tapped his shoulders. He doesn't need to look up because he already know who owns that voice. Puff ears. Jairu then laughed and he feels a weight in his shoulder, slinging her arms around his. Jairu is part-time DJ in this pub, one of the few people he could tolerate. She was sassy and rock and roll too, so she's good. If there's someone Katsuki know who he considers as his female counterpart, it'll be Jairu. Outside work, he considers Jairu as his best friend. Still he wouldn't admit. Don't go sulking now, it's Sunday. Relax day. Katsuki snorted. Exactly, tomorrow's Monday, what's so excited about Monday? Live a little more, millionaire brat. Come on, don't be a boomer. Jairu playfully smacks his arms. Why the F? She thinks calling Katsuki a millionaire brat is an insult. And why after she smacks his arm he immediately thought of Kirishima doing the same thing earlier. It was now seriously messing with his head. Alright old man, do what you want, my break is over, I'll be controlling the set again. She patted his back 2 times then left. Katsuki drank his drink in one shot. He felt someone sat beside him, when he take a look to a man fairly tall, pale young man of a slim, somewhat lanky build, almost same age if not a little bit older than him. He has longish, black hair that spikes up around his head, hanging low over his eyes, which are thin, turquoise in color, and heavily lidded, like he was trying to stuck him. You're pretty, and I'm lonely, together we're pretty lonely, wanna get out of this shithole? Katsuki grins. Yeah, he could really use some good F dash. He isn't going to be picky, women, men as long they can give him pleasure, go. In the morning after, the sunlight was now blinding him, as it peeks through the window to his FING eyeballs. Katsuki groans as he feels his head throbbing in hangovers. He feels his bed dash. He sit up too quickly, making his world spin. Why the F dash? Why the F? He is in his bedroom in the main house. Probably you were saying on how he is dumb for being surprised that he was on his own bed. Nope, hear him out, didn't he went out with that black-haired guy yesterday? He even remembered that corny pickup line. He quickly searched for his phone, about 10 missed calls from Ciro, 5 missed calls from Kirishima and 3 unread message from him, 1 missed call from Yumi, 1 missed call from his mom and 1 unread message from unknown. Katsuki decided to check the message from an unknown number. Known. You probably guessing why you are on your own house rather than being in my apartment. TBH, it's a bummer that we didn't have SECO. Your friend, the DJ called a taxi to get you home after having a breakdown talking about cheating, your boyfriend with the shitty hair and some more other shit. If you are ready to hook up or if your BF left you, just TXT me back. Dobby. The F dash? Katsuki can't believe that even happened. He has no idea or recollection for that matter. Was he that drunk? He deleted the text and not even bothering to save the number. Then he checks Kirishima's unread texts. Shitty boyfriend. Bakugu? WRU man. Ciro bombarded me with missed calls demanding on WRU. I told him I don't know but he won't believe me. He said call him back once you read the message. Shitty boyfriend. Dude, everyone is worrying. Where are you? Ciro told me even your mom can't contact you. She asked Ciro on why is that. Then Ciro panicking even more, BC you are not in your apartment. And he checked. Shitty boyfriend. Katsuki please call me back. His eye widened. Today was Monday. Katsuki hurriedly showered and got dressed, ignoring the maids and Yamamoto's. Young or don't rush. The F? You mean don't rush? For all the months he was training, it's his first time being late to work. He didn't even ate breakfast, ran to the garage and picked out a Motegi red metallic that has almost a tint of orange BMW M8 coupe and drives it to work, breaking the speed limit. When he arrived at GZ lobby area, he can hear murmurings of the employees and giving him scandalous look, Katsuki made sure to growl at them. Then in front of the reception desk, he can see Ciro in his usual black suit, talking to, wait, what he is doing in here? Kirishima's back facing him, hands on his hips, When Shiro caught his eyes, he let out a scream of relief. Cry? Katsuki doesn't know. Bakugo! Dude, where have you been? Kirishima then turns around, shit, he's angry. But then a minute he was smiling widely, actually too widely it's kinda scary. He was wearing a white button-up shirt and a denim briefs, still in his dark green apron, with a name tag pin on his left chest. He was in his coffee shop job's uniform. Why is he here? Kirishima steps towards him. The people around them became quiet, too quiet to Katsuki's liking. Seems like they are anticipating his beheading ceremony. Can we talk in private, baby? The redhead smiles. But he knows what does that mean. Katsuki just nodded and gulped, still wide eyes looking at Kirishima, who was still smiling too wide, eyes closed. Good thing there's only a few customers on Monday noon that Idru could ditch it and go the office of his fake boyfriend. You ask why? Because the early morning, what greeted him after a long Sunday night is Shiro's unread texts and missed calls saying Bakugo isn't answering his phone and isn't on his condo unit. Idru knew he's supposed to reply, so. The hell does it has to do with me? Because literally, it has nothing to do with him, but instead he found himself worrying too, even getting angry at Bakugo making Shiro worry. He texted Bakugo thrice and tried calling him too, still no one is answering the phone. After getting his paycheck yesterday, Bakugo made one of their drivers so send him home, and that's the last interaction they had. No text or calls, not even planning on what they should do next time, but he figured there's about a week left before the wedding, so there's time to spare. Then today he went to work, but everybody noticed his unrestlessness and unusual bad mood, so Uraraka had cornered him asking what's wrong. Then he told her that Bakugo is missing. She suggested to take the day off if it bothers him too much, but he refused. Minute by minute that's been passed, he was swallowed by worry and guilt, and by almost 11 he did Uraraka's suggestion, bolting out of the cafe, carrying a brunch set for Bakugo. It was her suggestion too, even saying, it's a good props. People will see on how caring boyfriend you are to him. He wanted to say what he is about to do isn't work-related, he won't get money from it. He was just as concerned as Shiro for Bakugo like a human being, but he didn't argue more and catching the next train. Stop going to GZ. It was when he was on the train he noticed he didn't styled his hair and left in its natural state, and he still had his apron on. Bakugo better had an explanation to this. Now he was on Bakugo's office as he watched the blonde eat the brunch set as he rubbed the back of his neck, not saying a word. Idru sighs, feeling guilty, then he walks up to Bakugo, standing behind him, and starts giving him a massage on the shoulders and neck, since it was his fault Bakugo is in pain right now. It was when Bakugo arrived and the first thing he did was to put him in a headlock and drag him all the way to his office, Shiro trailing beside them, as the employees stares at the two of them in shock. Maybe because Bakugo let himself to be dragged by him, not putting any effort to restrain, but constantly just yelping and asking Idru to stop or say it hurts, but he didn't stop. You can't blame him, he was overwhelmed by emotions and even find himself cursing and muttering words as he keeps his hold on Bakugo until they reached his office and force him to eat the brunch set from the shop. As he massages Bakugo's back, he thought maybe he went a little hard on his supposed-to-be boyfriend, so this is his way of saying he's sorry. He felt himself Bakugo leaning to his touch and muttering a force, thanks. Idru find himself letting out a relief sigh. Emotions now wearing down, Bakugo was safe. He let his chin rest on Bakugo's head, closing his eyes, both of his arms hugging the blonde's torso. He felt Bakugo's body went rigid for a while but melts to his hold. He doesn't know why, but on that short moment he felt contented. Yeah, it's the right word, contentment. Idru only had Bakugo officially for a day and a half. But if anything happened to him, he would kill everyone in this building and then himself. They were forced to snap back to reality when they heard a cough and, "Where the F were you last night, you brat?" He jumped about 6 feet away from Bakugo, the force pushing the blonde's stomach bump into his own desk, yelping in pain. Then on the door, it was a woman. He looks up to the woman, then to Bakugo, then to the woman again. Was Idru seeing double? A woman with ash blonde hair and red eyes. She wears a white suit all over, but inside of her blazer was a white button up but left some of the buttons open, revealing her cleavage and a red stiletto heels. Her whole demeanor screams power, and he thinks her aura was more even dignity than the blonde who continued to eat his food in peace, not bothering to look up to her. The resemblance of her and a certain someone was uncanny. Her aforementioned traits are shared with. "If, do you want hag?" Bakugu said in a dead tone, then taking a sip of his orange juice, courtesy by the cafe too, not even a slight worry that another short-tempered blonde was about to cause a scene in this office. It was Idru's first time meeting her, but he already knows she was Bakugu's mother. He can see people outside peeking on what's going on inside the office. "Katsuki, how many times do I need to tell you in this effing building I am chief exec dash?" Then she caught Idru looking dumbfounded. Then she let go of her angry side and went polite. "Oh hi, I didn't know my son has a guest." "You must be Idru? I heard about it from Mom. I'm Mitsuki, this brat's mother." It looks like blue blood isn't the only thing in the Bakugus DNA, their short temper and attitude runs in the family too. He gives her a small bow and greets. "Nice to meet you, ma'am." "She ain't your mom." Bakugu snorted. He closed his fists and bit back "I said ma'am, not mom." Mitsuki laughs at the two of them, even the sound of their laughter was similar. Bakugu was really all of his mother, isn't he? Then her scary mom mode was back on again. "I heard from home that our maids has to drag you to your bedroom because you're drunk as F dash. Getting wasted on a Sunday when you know we are busy on Mondays, what going on with your effing head?" Idru cringed at her words. Is that how Bakugu's mom treats Bakugu? Never in his life he was scolded in that way by his parents. He was really lucky. But parenting is different for every family, so he can't judge. And by the looks of it, Bakugu isn't even flinching, so he looks like he was used to it. "Do you want everybody to know that my son, the future owner of GZ, can't handle his sheet together when he's drunk? And don't tell me you're like that because you had a hookup dash." Idru stilled. "Hookup?" He looks at Katsuki, who was frozen in his place too. "No. Bakugu couldn't do something like that, can he?" He doesn't know why, but he felt his throat getting dry, scared of what Bakugu going to say next. "The F, are you saying? Hookup? As if I'll ever do that. I have a boyfriend if you didn't know already." And in a lower voice, "If you're finished nagging you can go. I am already getting scolded by shitty hair. I don't need two mothers. Besides, I just slept in and forgot to set an alarm. It's not because I had a one-night stand." He nodded. Maybe that's why he was anxious for a while when Mitsuki mentions Bakugu had a casual hookup. If Bakugu ever did it and he got caught, that'll be a problem, because on the eyes of the public, Bakugu was in a serious relationship. Idru had CC for fun, so it shouldn't bother him and can't judge Bakugu, but why do he feels the opposite, thinking Bakugu is doing the same? Then a lady in one of the office uniform peeks her head through the open doors. Yes, the mother and son feud was happening through open doors and glass walls. "Mrs. Bakugu? I need approval for the fabrics going to be used in our new batch." Mitsuki nodded, sparing the woman a glance. "Deal with him," she orders Idru while pointing to Bakugu as he nods. "Because that's the only thing he can do." Then she walks out the office, putting a force in closing the door. Idru flinched at the sound. If the CEO and future CEO are both hot-headed, he feels sorry for the maintenance of the building. He wonders how many holes in walls, shattered window glasses, and broken furnitures they had to repair. A bell rings through the speakers, indicating it was lunchtime, 12 o'clock noon. Idru could see the people standing up and walking. He looks at Bakugu, who looks at him with eyebrows furrowed, cheeks bulging, still eating even there was a whole chaos happening. "What?" the blonde said, but it comes out as "Wharf." It's 12 o'clock. He left his job so he could make an effort to make sure Bakugu was okay and tummy full. How domestic he is, he could win the best fake boyfriend award now. He shakes his head to ridiculous thought, with a smile on his face. "I'm hungry." Bakugu rolled his eyes, then sips his drink. "Sounds like a you problem." Sound like a his problem? When all of that effort he did and he wasn't even getting paid for it. "Take your wallet and date me." Idru removes his apron, then tossed it to Bakugu's desk. He isn't asking Bakugu to take him put for lunch, he is forcing him. For payback, you know. "Ah, I just ate." "Yeah, but he didn't." "Sounds like a you problem." "You're lucky I'm such a good boyfriend." Shitty hair commented as he eats. Katsuki didn't know on why he agreed to go on a date with this idiot. A date because it was Kirishima's words, not his. But he was full, so he settled on just ordering an iced coffee. As he watched Kirishima munch his food, he made Katsuki ordered a juden, just a dish with a bowl of rice topped with beef and onion, but shitty hair made them put a ridiculous amount of meat in there. How he digest it? But considering how built is Kirishima, he needs lean and protein for those muscles, so whatever. It's a pass. And it's not like Kirishima made him buy an expensive dish. The food was just less than 1,000 yen. Katsuki thinks Kirishima values quantity over quality. They were in a restaurant, the one nearest in their building, and it's the most cheapest restaurant he'd ever been. But Kirishima liked it here, and he's right, he left his job while on duty to make sure he's okay and even feeding him. 1,000 yen is literally nothing. If Kirishima wanted to go to a more expensive restaurant, Katsuki wouldn't hesitate to agree after for all today. But that's just for today. Don't talk while your mouth is full, shitty hair. Kirishima giggles and made a gross gulping sound. You're effing animal. Ah, come on, after all I did for you. Cut me some slack, bro. He scoffs. Bro? Kirishima laughs sheepishly. Oh, sorry. Could you cut me some slack, baby? The moron. He had meant to say since when they are bros? Not he wanted him to say boyfriend. But it didn't stop Katsuki from getting flustered, as the people inside the restaurant pays them attention, because of how a loud mouth his companion is. I'll cut you, he threatened. As he angrily gets the wet towel as he wipes Kirishima's face furiously, he's such a effing baby. Sauce are all over his face. Then Kirishima stopped laughing and just looks at him fondly. What the f is that face? Smiling at him sweetly. Katsuki threw the towel directly to the moron's face. Seriously, man, where did you go last night? Found me some good d-. He joked. It was his sober intention though, but it's his drunk self weren't. He expected Kirishima to laugh or even say, same. But instead his usual goofy grin was missing, and his face was unreadable. About the payment. Katsuki started, and Kirishima's ears literally perked up about money. Once the wedding is over, I'll transfer everything to your account, leave the breakup story to me, I'll just come up with a believable story. Because after all, after the wedding, he has no reason to keep Kirishima. So Katsuki shouldn't be getting used to the redhead's presence. Oh yeah, about that. I have something to tell you, Bakugo. Kirishima said hesitantly. Immediately Katsuki's anxiety built up. Was he going to cancel on him? Was he really that bad that Kirishima doesn't want to pretend to be his boyfriend anymore after just a FING day? Katsuki choked on his words, stuttering. Are you breaking up with me? Okay, he's a effing idiot. What he meant to say was, are you canceling on me? But what's been said was done. But it still makes sense, right? Kirishima laughs, head thrown back. What? If I break up with you, it's my lost. Well, he has a point. If he cancels on Katsuki, then goodbye to 700,000 yen. I was thinking the opposite. The F, do you mean? I was thinking, maybe after the wedding and I'm not your fake boyfriend anymore. We could continue to be as friends. Friends after breaking up? Not FING chance. Unless you were friends before being in a relationship. Sure, but if you start to get annoying, I'll unfriend your butt. This isn't Facebook, Katsuki. He didn't comment on how Kirishima used his first name while talking to him, even when it's the only two of them. Friend request accepted. What's wrong? Bakugo asked him once he got back to their seats. He must have sensed his change of mood. The week went by flying, him casually going to Bakugo's office, bringing him packed lunch from the coffee shop sometimes, and if he doesn't bring food, Bakugo will ask him out to eat together at a restaurant. And sometimes Bakugo and Siro will visit him and Denki in the bar if he's on duty. Idru feels that he and Bakugo became friends so quick that Denki jokes that they look like a real-life couple, but to him he was happy that Bakugo became his new friend. He's contented by that. He also found himself frowning whenever Bakugo starts praising him that he should be an actor because he acts so good that no one will suspect a thing that their relationship was a sham, but he knows in his heart he'd just do whatever he did because that's what would he do to a friend, no acting, no script needed. And today was the wedding. Yesterday night Bakugo personally delivered his suit. It was just a simple black suit with dark blue button-up with long red tie. He asked Bakugo on what's he wearing. He said since he was one of the groomsmen, he will wear a white suit and red button-up. He could already imagine Bakugu will look good in his suit. So when the promised day arrived, he tied his hair in a ponytail, instead of his usual spikes, because Bakugu had said he likes his hair naturally down and tied, so that's what he did. The ceremony was held outdoor, exactly like Edward and Bella Cullen's wedding. But he's not mad. Idru liked the wedding was one with nature. He wonders how much are the cost of the flowers alone. Harumi, the bride, has her amber orange/brown at the top part roots and ends silver gray hair in a waterfall French braid low bun, wore a soft pink blush tulle and lace wedding dress with detachable sleeves, with lace and ribbon detailing, her gray eyes and beauty mark in her cheek just near below her left eye. Overall she looks stunning. She looks like a princess wandering in the woods. He wonders why did Bakugu ever let go such an appealing woman. The groom, whose name was Takahashi Naoki, wore a khaki three-piece suit with light pink tie, coordinating with his bride. To say that Takahashi is handsome is an understatement. He is fit and relatively tall, with spiky white hair, has black obsidian eyes. On his left eye he has a vertical scar running over it, and has a mole on the bottom left part of his chin. Despite the scar he looks so godly, another reminder that Idru was gay. He has a quiet and mysterious demeanor too. Now to answer his question, maybe Ehara just had to choose which is more handsome, if Bakugu or Takahashi. Now she was getting married to the latter, so yeah. The ceremony went just as he expected, small and private. But the reception, oh lord. It was held in a grand ballroom hall in one of the most luxurious hotels in Tokyo. There are now more people too, and did he mention the amount of reporters and media invited? He swears he even saw a helicopter above live telecasting the reception of Ehara's wedding. Should he say Takahashi Yumi now? DMN rich and popular people. Idru was on his way to the restroom when he heard the conversation that caused his bad mood. It was two ladies, probably in their mid-30s, talking about the newlywed. Did you hear Yumi-chan is pregnant? Really? That must be the reason why was she glowing. Their baby would be the prettiest. Naoki is so handsome, Yumi is lucky to have him. He scoffs. So what if Ehara was pregnant? She was 24 years old, in a stable relationship and financially capable of raising a child. He doesn't know why the ladies were talking as if it's supposed to be a secret. I wonder about that. What do you mean, Maeda-san? I heard from our friends that the father was the grandson of Himiko. That made Idru stopped on his tracks for a while. They were talking about Bakugu. He knows that Ehara and Bakugu was only been separated for 4 months by now, but could Bakugu have been the father? He continues to follow them, completely forgetting he needed to go to the toilet. So the rumors has started. Don't you find it a little sketchy, Hayashi-san? After just a few months of Bakugu and Yumi-chan's breakup, she went to marry another guy? I even heard that maybe Yumi-chan was just using Takahashi as a cover-up so the media wouldn't brand her as an unwed mother. Idru feels sick to his stomach. How could these people talk shit about the newlywed who was kind enough to invite them? If he was Ehara, he would kick them out of the ceremony and the reception. Meh, I don't really care on who is the father. Whether it is Naoki or Katsuki, the baby is winning. To be honest, I think Yumi is better off with Katsuki. You get to marry the future owner of GZ? Everyone could just dream. Omeda-san. Let's check the dessert section over there. So yeah, when he went back to his seat with a bad mood, Bakugu noticed it. They were on a table with Shiro, who was wearing a suit almost the same as him, and Todoroki, a friend and fellow co-worker of Ehara, wearing a suit similar to Bakugu, but instead of red button-up, he wore blue. It was his first time meeting the famous model, and the first thing he noticed was the model's perfectly half white and half red hair, 2 different color irises, turquoise on the left and gray on the right. He also has this large burn scar on the left side of his face, but instead of making the guy less attractive because of it, he thinks it added to his appearance uniqueness and even made it look handsome and cooler. Idru feels it's unfair that people with scars on their faces look so DMN good. Oh, he has a scar on his right eye too. Oh well, he doesn't make the rules. So when Bakugu asked him was wrong, he hadn't meant to snap, but since when Ehara was pregnant? Shiro looks at him with mischievous eyes. Even Todoroki looks at him, not minding his phone anymore. Bakugu gave him the unimpressed look, shrugging his shoulders. About 2 weeks. So Bakugu knew that Ehara was P-Argent. Most likely it was Ehara herself breaking the news to Bakugu. Stop with that ifngy face. Bakugu grunts, Siro started to laugh and even Todoroki gave out a small chuckle. What the face? He's so confused. Bakugu, I think he heard the rumors. Todoroki said in his usual monotone. So everyone knew that? Except him? And he was so dumb to believe and even affected by silly rumors. I'm not FING surprised. When Yumi called me and told me she was P-Argent, she also said she expects that people would talk shit about her P-Argent, probably gossiping on who was the father of her baby. And you don't make an effort to correct them? He asked Bakugu. If it was on his case, he would confront all the people that's talking behind his back. Well, Kirishima, Ehara is a celebrity. It's almost part of her work. People talking about her, gossiping, hearsay, you name it, she already experienced it. The only difference was this time it's about the father of her baby. And to answer your question, Bakugu doesn't owe people explanations. He knows, we know the truth, that he isn't the father, and obviously a 2-week P-Argent is suited for a 4-month relationship, don't you think? So why worry on what people will think? Your mans has a company to run, he doesn't have time to deal with pure speculations. Siro explained to him so perfectly reasonable that Idru felt embarrassed for even doubting Bakugu. Once again, thank you for attending the Takahashi Ehara nuptial, we hope you are having a good time. Now please welcome the bride and groom as they invite you to the dance floor. The host announces, it's time for the dance, the lights on the hall slowly dimming, just a couple of lights we're on, just giving the atmosphere more of a romantic vibe. A guy with a guitar went up on stage as he started playing the guitar and he sings. It was a song that Idru didn't recognize. Girl, you just caught my eye. Thought I should give it a try and get your name and your number, go grab some lunch and eat cucumbers. He laughs slightly at the words of the song. It's silly, he knows, but the way the guy sings it, he pours the emotion and even sounding like he was in love. The feeling conveying the song was that powerful the Idru could feel it. Why did I say that? I don't know why. But you're smiling, and it's something I like on your face. Yeah, it suits you, girl, we connect like we have Bluetooth. Ehara and Takahashi was dancing slowly, but he was in awe the way Ehara looks at Takahashi like he was her everything. Ehara was even laughing, smacking her husband on the chest as Takahashi sways them both and holding her, fondly staring at his wife's eyes, as if Ehara put stars in them. The spotlight was on the couple, making them stand out as they should. Idru doesn't know what love is really like, but he was sure it was like that. I don't know why I'm drawn to you. Could you be the other one so we'd equal to? You may now join the bride and groom to the dance floor. He feels someone pat his shoulder. It was Bakugu, hands holding outward for him to take, but he refuses to meet his gaze. Bakugu was blushing, his eyebrows furrowed and slightly pouting. Can I have this dance or whatever? He was taken aback because it's not on their plan to show off like this. His heart skips a beat. I'd love to, Katsuki. And this is all based on a lucky chance that you would rather add than subtract. He took Bakugu's hand as they went to the dance floor. He held Bakugu's hand, and on the other was on the blonde's waist, as Bakugu's other hand was resting on his shoulders. They just swayed and did the waltz. No one is talking, they're just enjoying each other's company. You and I could be like Sunny and Cher, Honey and Bears. You and I could be like Aladdin and Jasmine, let's make it happen. The people around them, even the couples on the dance floor, gave them the way. He could feel people staring at them. He can hear the reporters back on their jobs. He's pretty sure his face will end up on the newspaper tomorrow. It was no secret that he was supposed to be Bakugu's boyfriend, but it was the first time media will be involved. Hey, how've you been? I know that it's been a while. Are you tired cause you've been on my mind running thousands and thousands of miles? Hey sheethead, that sounds like a corny pickup line you'll say. It was Bakugu who broke the silence. Sorry, I know that line's out of style, but you look so appealing on this starry night, loving the way the moonlight catches your eyes and your smile. Oh yeah? You know, Katsuki, I never thought perfection could fit right between my arms. He jokes. Bakugu rolled his eyes, but laughing at his most cringiest and corniest pickup line. See? I called it. I'm captivated, your beauty is timeless, never outdated. Idru nodded and joining Bakugu's laughter. By now he was aware of Bakugu's good looks, but up here close, he looks so appealing under the lights, Bakugu's eyes glistening because of the happy tears, making his red irises seem to twinkle, worry and scowl lines fades into his face as he gives him only genuine laughter, and God, why didn't someone mentions Bakugu has perfect set of healthy teeth that's perfectly displaying on now he was smiling like this. Yeah, he agreed that it was a corny pickup line, but what he didn't admit is that the pickup line wasn't based on lies. Bakugu is appealing, as the song says, beauty is timeless, never outdated. I don't know why I'm drawn to you, could you be the other one so we'd equal to? And this is all based on a lucky chance that you would rather add than subtract. Idru felt himself pulling Bakugu towards him. He doesn't know why, but his body acted before he could think. Their chests was now practically touching as he changed his hand's position. His hand earlier on Bakugu's waist was now on the blonde's back, bringing him closer to him. Bakugu's eyes widened, probably shocked at what he did, but he gave him a reassuring smile. You and I could be like Sunny and Cher, Honey and Bears, you and I could be like Aladdin and Jasmine, let's make it happen. What took him by surprise is that Bakugu completely let go of his hand. He thought he went too far, that it made Bakugu angry, but instead Bakugu was hugging him by the torso, his chin on his shoulder, arms around his neck and shoulders, still swaying to the song. He thinks on now Bakugu was so good at acting, so he leveled up his acting too. He puts arms around Bakugu's middle as his right hand was on the back of the blonde's head, the side of their faces almost touching. But Idru knew he wasn't acting, his actions weren't forced, and he knows it's going to be a problem if they continue to pretend like this, so thank God it's his final day of suffering. La la. The song ended as all the lights were turned back on. There was a round of applause and some wolf whistling that when they look around them, only the two of them was left on the middle of the dance floor. Even the bride and groom was back to their seats. He could see Ihara gesturing for the audience to clap and cheer more for them. He expected Bakugu to walk out and leave him alone in the middle of the dance floor, but he just intertwined their fingers together, and they left casually like it wasn't an embarrassment they stole the newlyweds' first dance moments. He wonders when will Bakugu stops being full of surprised because Idru's little heart wouldn't handle it. Why don't you join me in Father's talent agency? You act good. Shudo said once Katsuki got back to his seat, as Shitty Hair excuses himself to go to the bathroom. I can't act for sheet half and half. What makes you think I could be an actor? You're supposed to be only fake dating Kirishima, right? Oh yes, that acting. Now that Shudo mentioned it, Katsuki knew he wasn't acting. He was just caught in a moment that his brain was like, you know what? Ask him to dance with you. Hug him tight. He was still confused about the obvious attraction he had for Kirishima, but it was a secret only for him to keep. Hey, I'm back. Did I miss something important? Shitty Hair asked as he took a seat beside him. Katsuki shakes his head. Just the boring speeches of the principal sponsors. We could ditch it if you want. You will not, Bakugu. Not until President Himiko finishes her speech at least. What would the people think if you left before even waiting for the appearance of your grandmother? Tape Face scolded him. What happened to, who cares of what people think, blah blah blah. He was the one to talk earlier. Tape Face fake gasped, I don't say blah blah blah. Whatever, Grandpa Drac. Listen man, I don't care about Ihara, but I do care about GZ, that's a whole different thing. Oh okay Shushu, she's up next. He scoffed. Siro was just a big fan of his grandmother and mother, that's why he was saying that, didn't he? I thank everyone who, despite of their busy schedules, made time to attend Yumi and Naoki's wedding. Katsuki really hates it when his grandmother went to her businesswoman mode. He'd rather have his mamita who pinches his cheeks, scolds him for every little mischief he did, than them to stand before Katsuki as a millionaire entrepreneur, an owner of an establishment, like they command everything and everyone in this room. Same goes for his mom. That's also a reason why he didn't want to live with them in the first place. All Katsuki wanted was contentment in life, so the prince-like lifestyle doesn't sit right with him. There's nothing more to say about this lovely couple because we can all see they love each other and we want nothing but happiness for them. He nods, right? There was nothing more to say, so better wrap it up now because Katsuki was tired and he has a scheduled meeting tomorrow. I'm sorry Naoki and Yumi for taking advantage of my time intended for giving a speech. I stand here as a sponsor, a family, but all that could change depending on who and where I am, but there's something that remains constant. He could hear that people started whispering. He met Yumi's eyes from the stage. She was looking as confused as him too, shaking her head. For many years, even up to now, I stand as GZ's owner and president. What the F is happening? He asked Zero, who was looking like he was having a panic. I don't know, dude. I don't even know if Chief knows the president is announcing something that's work-related. Katsuki? He looked at Kirishima, who looks like a lost puppy. He can't blame him. If everyone around them panicking, it's a reflex that you'll be panicking too. He took his hand on his, gripping tightly as if to say, "You're all right, you're good." But to be honest, Katsuki doesn't even know what's grandmother is planning too. Bakugo Himiko, president/owner of GZ, is officially announcing my retirement. His heart dropped to his stomach. The people were now in chaos. Collective gasps were heard, the murmurings and whispers some turns into yelling, the reporters and media running to the stage, trying to get a closer shot of his grandmother. Even Yumi on stage looked so shocked, her hands covering her mouth as Takahashi tried his very best to comfort her, but confusion is evident on his face. Zero, what the F dash? Katsuki was so close, making a scene demanding on what the F is happening. I'm going to, hello? Ma'am? Yes, it's Zero Hanta. Have you dash? Zero was now looking so alarmed, 2 cell phones in his hands taking calls from different people. Katsuki? What's going on? He can feel Kirishima is tense beside him. I don't know dash. Because he doesn't really know. What he know is that he will become owner/CEO/president once grandmother had passed. It was written on the will. It was stated that his grandmother wouldn't retire until she was physically gone. That's why his mom only has the CEO title, even though grandmother is still alive but barely participating in the company works, though every decision needs her approval. So what is really going on? Is she giving mom the full title? I know, it's going to shock everyone, my apologies. By now you know that my daughter-in-law is the current CEO of GZ, but I will not be passing the title to her. Zero dropped all the cell phones in his hand. Even Shudo, who usually doesn't express emotions in his face except when he was acting, looks appalled. Katsuki knew what was coming and he wasn't ready for it. Also, it didn't help when Zero emphasizes, Bokugu, oh my god. My grandson, Katsuki, will be inheriting the whole company once I officially retire, but not until he was wedded off. It'll be like my gift to my little angel. Grandmother laughs at her own joke. Okay, she calls him angel in front of the people, but when it's the two of them she calls him devil? The audience laughs nervously, or was it mostly the people on his table? Well, after all, there's nothing to be worried about, because Katsuki isn't planning to get married, at least not until he was 30, when everything is settled. He can handle the company from there. So that's why. What she isn't finished. Take this as an official invitation, because this isn't the last wedding you'll be going to, everyone. I happily announce the engagement of my grandson, Bakugo Katsuki, and his beloved boyfriend. Time freezes. He slowly turns to look at Kirishima, who looks at him with wide eyes too. Suddenly he was blinded by the flash of lights, cameras on his face. He could see Zero jumping on the reporters, cell phone ringings, yelling and shouting can be heard through the ballroom hall, Shudo doing his best to block off camera shots, doing different poses and intentionally blocking the two of them so the media wouldn't get a decent picture of him and Kirishima. Katsuki was visibly shaking and there are tears forming in the corner of his eyes. That didn't just happen. His grandmother didn't just tell the whole world he was getting married to someone, practically still a stranger. From monsters and supervillains, this is Katsuki's worst nightmare. Then he was engulfed by a hug, Kirishima hugging him tight and saying, "Shoo, it's okay. It's okay, baby." He wanted to yell at him and say, "This isn't effing a joke anymore, could you effing stop?" But he couldn't even breath normally, what more if speak. Grandmother didn't just give him the whole responsibility of running the company, he's only 25. His calculations were way off by 5 whole years. Also, he can't barely hold his sheet together, what more if he's going to literally marry? No, it's not. It's not effing okay. Seriously? What's the idea? What's the effing idea? Bakugo bellows, He bet his voice could be heard in every single corner of this mansion and even the neighboring mansions. Idru was now in the Bakugu's main house, and he was forced to see the scene in front of him as Bakugu confronts his grandmother. They are in the living room. Grandmother has a book in her hands, pipping hot tea on a stand next to her seat, and Yamamoto just behind her. Mitsuki was seated beside Idru on a couch. She looks tired and worn off, her all-red suit all rumpled. One white stiletto shoe was missing, her makeup all smudged, she had her palm on her forehead the whole time, she looks totally drained. By the looks of it, Mitsuki isn't expecting the announcement either. Once grandmother said that engagement news, he and Bakugu went to an unoccupied room in a hotel, to the most top floor, not even finishing the whole wedding reception program. Once he laid in bed, he immediately went to sleep only for Bakugu to woke him up and saying it's time to go. He woke up to a puffy eyes Bakugu and he had the urge to say sorry for being useless, not even providing him comfort, but he knows the blonde wouldn't appreciate it, so he just remained quiet. Honey, could you please turn down your volume? I'm trying to read my book, grandmother said as she flips another page. Bakugu went storming off closer to her, grabs her pocketbook and threw it across the room. He was about to stand up and called out Bakugu for his actions, but Mitsuki held him back, shaking her head. It's no use. Once he's on a rampage, no one could stop him. Answer me, God in Hamnet. Even Yamamoto, who calls out Bakugu every now and then for cursing even the slightest words, was quiet. The butler knows better than to interfere. Grandmother sighs as she removes her reading glasses and puts it on her head. I don't have an answer, sweetie. I just invited everyone to your wedding. What's wrong with that? To the fact you announce a ceremony that the participants doesn't even have an idea they'll be doing? Yeah, that's what's wrong. Right? My wedding that I had no idea I'll be doing. Tell her, Bakugu. The two of them, Mitsuki and Idru, nods to his argument. It's not like there's something going to change once you get married. Will your love for Idru change? Okay, that was a counterattack, because Bakugu was caught off guard by that question. Well, no, but dash. See? A wedding couldn't be that bad. Idru either wanted to punch himself or punch Bakugu. Obviously the old lady was just going in circles, making Bakugu to see the flaw of his own argument. He knows that he had seen his mom and dad fight. Women are evil. Even if they are wrong, they're still right. He thinks since it got this bad, they should admit that everything was a lie, and Bakugu isn't really his boyfriend. But how about Idru? Did you even think what his family's reaction to all of the bullshit you just pulled, Grandma? True, now that he was out in public, dating a Bakugu, one of the elites in Japan, probably by now his family is waiting at home with a knife ready to slit his throat. He had promised not to get married anytime soon, and now the whole world knows he's going to get married. Oh, then surprise, surprise. I'm sure they can move on. I know Idru's parents would love an extravagant wedding. Don't worry, all expenses on us. Grandmother had the nerve to wink at Idru. He smiles at her through gritted teeth. Ma'am, I don't think they'll appreciate that, and you basically invited the whole world to Katsuki and I's wedding, so. He joins in the conversation trying to back up Bakugu. When he met his gaze, he nodded at him, and he already understood the meaning. Thank you. So you want a more private wedding like Yumi's? I wanted a beach wedding for my Katsuki though. He stopped himself from banging his head on the wall. For someone who is smart, grandmother is so dumb. Or was she just playing dumb? Because Idru could see, it was barely a hint of mischief in grandmother's face. Or was it just his imagination? But that's not the effing point. Bakugu grabbed a handful of his hair, then pulls it. Idru was so close to doing the same. Look, do you love him or not? She asked Bakugu. He looks at Bakugu with a pleading eye. He wants Bakugu to give him a sign to stop pretending, a sign to admit their secret. Yeah, I do. Bakugu said in a low voice. It was game over. He knows the argument was now coming to a close. Idru knew Bakugu wasn't going to admit their relationship sham. It's grandmother's win. How about you, Idru dear? You love my grandson, don't you? No. And this was all a lie. I'm sorry, but Bakugu paid me to be his fake boyfriend, and I know I was equally guilty from playing everyone, and I'm so sorry, but I can't get married to him. My family is going to kill me, and I don't want Bakugu and I being tied when we don't even love each other. It's just morally wrong. We deserve happiness from the people who we truly cherish. Not being forced into a marriage that's a foundation was a little white lie. He looks at Bakugo again, but the guy was just staring at the floor, no energy to fight and argue. Please. A sign. He just needs Bakugo to give him a sign to stop and he'll stop, a sign to give up and he'll admit. Seconds turns to minutes, still nothing. Idru is going to regret this. Yes, ma'am. Bakugo must sensed on where it was all coming down. He fall back on his but with a nasty thump on the tiled floor, feeling so distraught but it came out a blank in his face. And to Idru's horror, grandmother's smiles only widen, even though not officially. How do you feel carrying the last name Bakugo, Idru? He feels like shit. He should have known some crazy shit like this wouldn't end well. He should have listened to Denki in the first place. And also, he's not going to call out on how well-planned grandmother said that sentence, purposely putting their family name and calling him by his first name. Bakugo Idru. He could feel Mitsuki staring at the sofa, on the part where he was gripping it tightly. And with a forced smile and laugh, I like it, ma'am, sounds fitting, isn't it? Grandmother, feeling satisfied, right? See, Katsuki, even your own boyfriend thinks it's a good idea. Yamamoto, could you please get my book? Oh, and welcome to the family, Idru. After all what happened, Katsuki managed to go to work the other day. Their usually annoying and noisy employees are too quiet, just giving him glances when he passed by them. No one dared to question and starts a commotion about last night's tragedy. He sent Kirishima to his condo unit as he stayed in the main house last night, because the red-haired wanted space, probably going to think about things, and not wanting to meet his parents after all that. Katsuki even let Kirishima borrow one of the cars in the main house. He didn't convince grandmother to postpone the wedding, but she agreed that okay, fine. No ceremony, just signing papers. Which is kinda sketchy because he thought grandma wanted a grand wedding to show off. Now she is agreeing for him and Kirishima to just sign a marriage contract. He doesn't know what the old lady was playing, but there's something that's not right. Sir Bakugo, it's Monoma. There was a knock on his door and the least thing he wanted to see was the obnoxious guy. He can't stand him. But Monoma was one of GZ's best employee, even he gets on Katsuki's nerves, and he was a loyal dog to the chief exec, aka his mom. So even if he was that annoying, he can't just kick him out, not until he is CEO. Shiro wanted me to give you this dash. Monoma walks towards him, places a stack of newspapers in his desk. Katsuki snatched the pencil in his table. Maybe Shiro wanted him to play crosswords again. That happened maybe once or twice now, but that's okay. Katsuki isn't busy and it's better to get his minds out of the incident regarding to his upcoming marriage or whatever. But he noticed these are just of newspapers from different sources, Japan Today, Nippon Mail. Where's the crossword puzzle? It looks like Shiro collected a bunch of newspaper trash and put it in a compilation. The F is this? Monoma was now halfway exiting in his office when he gave Katsuki a knowing look, but the thing is, he doesn't know what knowing look was that. Oh, I don't know, sir, I just did what I was told. Deliver these newspapers to you. Monoma smirks, then sings songs. I'm so sick of this fake love, fake love, fake love. I'm so sorry, but it's fake love, fake love, fake love. Katsuki went tensed for a minute. Is Monoma trying to do something in here? Does he know the truth? Through gritted teeth he asked, what's that supposed to mean? Monoma just chuckled. Oh, do you know BTS, Sir Bakugo? Famous K-pop group, Best Boys. I think you don't. Ah, what a bummer. Fake love is such a bop. You should check them out, I know you will relate to their songs. Then the F-head laughs again, exiting his office. Katsuki refused to believe that maybe Monoma knows something was going on. But whatever, he's irrelevant. Now why did Shiro gave him a bunch of stupid newspaper pages? He scans the first page, his eyes widened. Then he flips the other, same headline, different source, then another, also same. His heart beats faster every second, different emotion running through him. Katsuki snapped the pencil into half. After a sleepless night, still in his suit, Idru managed to go home, parking Bakugo's car to the apartment number allotted to them in the parking area. Though he needed to go back in Bakugo's condo unit because he forgot his cell phone in there. As expected, Mina was angry, accusing him of lying. Denki also texted him saying he already thought it's going to be messy, and Uraraka congratulating him for his marriage. He doesn't have the energy to reply to all of them, though he needed to meet up with Bakugo as soon as possible and back out from their deal. A fake boyfriend, sure, but fake husband? When the whole world knows. No thank you. The first thing greeted him was silence, his parents sitting on the couch, just staring at the TV. His siblings have school, so the apartment was quiet. Mom, Dad, I'm home. His mom just looks at him with tears in her eyes, while his dad refused to look at him, eyes still glued to the television. Are they watching a drama? But they're watching news? What's sad about news? Then he heard the news reporter say, JP News, headline, President Himiko of GZ Corp shocks the whole fashion industry. Idru felt his knees starting to shake as he drops, kneeling on the tatami of their apartment. Not this again, he still haven't moved on about what happened, and now he is forced to watch the incident nationwide, on television. Himiko Bakugo, current owner and president of GZ, shocked everyone by announcing her early retirement during a speech in model Yumi Ehara's wedding yesterday night. It's thought that Himiko will pass ownership to current CEO of the company, Mitsuki Bakugo, the wife of Himiko's late son, but turns out the full authority will become Himiko's grandson, Katsuki Bakugo, to have. President Himiko also announced the upcoming wedding of his grandson and boyfriend, whose name is currently unknown. Then there was a picture of him and Bakugo displayed on the screen. It was taken during the ballroom dance, both of them laughing and looking at each other fondly. Then another picture pops up, Bakugo clinging to him as he held him tight. The netizens are commenting on how Katsuki was clearly baffled, judging by his reaction about his own grandmother's announcement, as if he wasn't expecting the sudden news too. Another photo pops up, a blurry shot of him looking at Bakugo with wide eyes, another him hugging Bakugo, but still on his face the only emotions could be seen was surprised. Then some more photos in different angles, blurry ones, cropped ones, and he's sure he just saw a picture of Todoroki making a peace sign as he photobombs the two of them. Himiko ended her speech by saying, I want you, pertaining to Katsuki, to learn how to love and be happy. The only way you can value the company is if you experienced how to give value to someone special. Himiko also said she was thrilled meeting Katsuki's boyfriend, even telling everyone on how sweet and lovely her future grandson-in-law is. Whether since when the future young CEO started dating or had the engagement is unknown. Okay, Idru didn't knew that, since they ditched the party, not even letting the old woman finish her speech. Are their love really that convincing that President Grandmother wanted them to get married? Started dating? About 2 weeks ago. When was he engaged? About 15 hours ago. The marriage? So, Mom, Dad, please let me dash. He expected his parents to yell at him, cursed at him, and even kick him out, but instead Idru was engulfed in a hug, both of his parents sobbing. Son, why didn't you say you're getting married? You thought we'll be mad? Or you thought you'll surprise us and letting the media know first? No. Baby, oh my God, baby, I'm so happy for you. I knew your relationship was suspicious from the start, but really? Himiko's grandson? Never would I dream about you being with the superiors of Japan, his mother cried while caressing his face. Idru, being overwhelmed by emotions, anger, guilt, sadness, confusion, and happiness. He didn't know why should he feel first, so he cried instead. Honey, you probably didn't want to scare us, so you kept it a secret, don't you? I would love to meet Katsuki-kun before giving you to him, though. You know your dad and I wanted more babies and kids in this house, yeah? What baby you two are adopting? Boy? Girl? Either way, I already love them all. His mother joked through tears. Mom. He sniffs and let out and chuckle. I'm not ready for a kid. I'm still your baby, right? And it's not like he really wanted to build a family with Bakugo, considering they don't even like each other that much. At least on his side. That's what you said too about getting married. Now look at you, you silly child. At least this time I'm ready and expecting it. I am happy and proud of you no matter what, but if that Bakugo ever divorce or hurt you, I'll kill him with my machete. Darling. Stop that. Your father is only kidding, honey. He'll never do that. Come on, don't cry. We're not mad. Or is the happy tears? But Idru nodded his head. Sweetie. I'm sorry that I dragged you into this mess. I'm sorry, Mom, Dad, that I keep lying to you, my friends, and especially myself. You don't need to be sorry, sweetie. Yeah, you lied about not wanting to get married soon, but people fall in love. It can't be helped. It's a great thing. Isn't it, darling? Idru could think of million reasons to back out and walk away to stop this mess. But there was a single reason why he can't. It's Bakugo himself. If Bakugo doesn't want for things to continue, he should have admit. And now Idru is confused. No sign but different mixed signals is what the explosive blonde gave him. But there's a tiny bit of him, just a little part, excitement? Thrilled? Yes, it's wrong, but he kinda wanted this to go along, so he became selfish again and didn't tell the truth. So FING unmanly. There was a knock on his door. When his mom opened it, it was Shiro in his usual business attire. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Kirishima. I'm Shiro Hanta, your son's friend. Shiro? What are you doing here? Bakugo wants to see you. So you're telling me I just need to sign these papers and that's it? Kirishima asked him while reading the details on the papers. Katsuki made Shiro go and fetch Kirishima so that they can talk about what go do in the stupid marriage contract. Kirishima also told him that his parents already knew the engagement because of the news and demanded Katsuki's visiting. Also, Shiro briefed him on how he couldn't back out now, since his old lady made sure to announce his engagement to the whole world. It was Jeezy's PR that's on the line. He has no choice but to play along, and if the media died down on them after weeks and months, then he'll file for a divorce. You'll say, why not do a fake marriage contract? Katsuki's grandmother is all about legality and assurance. You think he didn't consider that? He already did, and it was impossible to fake this marriage deal, not when Baba already made arrangements with the company's lawyers. Yeah, and obviously I'll need to pay you for another deal. But that isn't the priority. We need to talk about what should we do after this signing of contract, he said, massaging his temples. Running company is already a drag. Now he was being forced into marriage. If Katsuki snapped one day, it's not on him. In other words, what shitty hair? You want me to be your husband for rent? Katsuki wants to laugh at the accuracy on how Kirishima described his now proposal, but he found himself that he couldn't. He's tired? Stressed? Has constant migraine that yesterday's event made it worse? He's had it. I can't do that, Bakugo. Kirishima frowns at him as he moves aside the papers. What do you mean you can't? I already told you we can't back out for now. After I get the title, and the media isn't writing on Jeezy's D anymore, we'll file a divorce. No, I mean I don't want your money, I'll do this for free. You what? Kirishima sighs. Look man, I got the one unpromised money and that's cool, thanks by the way, but we both aren't expecting this to happen. True, and if someone told him he's gonna own the company and get fake married at 25, with a fake boyfriend, Katsuki would have called the police and make them arrest you for being crazy. But here he FING is. And I feel equally guilty as you for lying, making everyone believe we're in a relationship, and if I make you pay for a sin that we both did, don't you think it's a bit unfair to you? But it was Katsuki's idea in the first place. But he nodded his head. Dude, I accept your offer as this is my way of repenting, so you don't need to pay me for it. Remember what you said of being partners in mission? I expect the same trust, Bakugo. Katsuki rolled his eyes. This isn't FNG melodrama love scenario, sheethead. Kirishima laughed. It wasn't forced this time. It makes him feels warm and tingly again. He hates the feeling. Besides, being married to you, it couldn't get any worse than that, right? He growls at him. So he's saying it couldn't get any worse because Katsuki was the worst? The door swung open to a distraught-looking Shiro. Wanna bet on that, Kirishima? Then tossed papers on his desk. Are these leaflets? Itineraries? Guidebooks? What the F are these? Your grandmother booked you a honeymoon trip to Karuizawa in Nagano Prefecture for a week. You better pack your bags. Both of you will leave in. Shiro checked his wristwatch. Approximately 5 hours. Katsuki forgot to breathe for a minute. And from the corner of his eye, he saw Kirishima banged his head on his desk. The marriage between the following partners has been conducted according to the rights of law and the public, and the eyes of his creator. Date: July 20th year, 20XX. This certificate testifies that. Name of groom, Katsuki Bakugo. And name of groom, Idru Kirishima. were duly joined together as husband and husband. Senor Katsuki Bakugu, and the rite of marriage was witnessed by the following people: Hantasiro and Denki Kaminari. Idru flips the page, then second page was just his and Bakugu's BRH and personal informations. Bakugo already signed his part in the contract. Since he had yet signed the paper, Bakugo gave him the duty to pass the paper in one of GZ's lawyers and the process go from there. Idru hesitated for a moment. Why did they put sign here instead of stamp using their inkins? Oh well, he didn't question it anymore. He signed the papers. After signing, he passed the paper to the municipal hall. The person in there read the papers. After your said trip, you could pass all the documents for the change of your name and your valid IDs. Before heading home to pack his things, since he has 2 hours left, he went to the coffee shop. He owes Mina and Uraraka an explanation. Oh, I'm sorry, Kirishima-kun. I thought it was a real marriage. If I just knew, I wouldn't text you a congrats message. Uraraka apologized for the 100th time. Idru chuckles. It's fine, we both agreed to do it anyway, not because I pity Bakugu or something. Ehem. You are a Bakugu too. Technically, yeah, you're right, Mina. So how does it feel? His pink-haired friend asked while twirling the straw in her cup. He blinks at her. Feel what? You know, now you're a married man, she giggles. Idru felt flustered being addressed as someone's husband. It just felt so real, not the love, but the marriage contract and the honeymoon trip, but for him it was more of recreational trip. I'm not really married, Mina. Do you see a ring on me? Idru wiggles his fingers in front of Mina's face. Maybe you should ask Blasty for a ring. That's like a suicide mission. Uraraka cringed. Is he that bad? Is Bakugu that bad? For the first time he met him, yes, no doubt. But for the next days, Bakugu kept surprising him with his soft sides. Yes, he was little rough on the edges, but Siro taught him better than to judge. He shrugged his shoulders. Meh, I like bad boys. Mina and Uraraka both said, yikes, and cringe at the same time. Then the three of them laughed together. You'll change or I'm leaving you behind. They met up at Narita to ride a bullet train from Tokyo to Karuizawa. The ride will take about 2 hours give or take. It's now 5 p.m. so they are expected to arrive by. Bakugu was already waiting for him on the station, holding a small black suitcase, who wore a white button-up shirt, but first 3 buttons are undone, tucked in khaki knee-length shorts and a white Converse shoes, a sunglass on top of his head and a gold and silver Patek Philippe wristwatch. It's 5 p.m. already and the sun is still up, an indication that summer is approaching. This time of the year, the sun sets almost after 8 p.m. Japan isn't called the land of the rising sun for nothing. What's wrong with these? Idru looks and gestures at his outfit, from his footwear to top. A red t-shirt without sleeves with riot printed on it, green plaid jacket tied on his waist, brown cargo shorts, red Crocs. He had his hair on a bun and black baseball cap that he wore backwards. What's wrong? You're married to a man that owns a FING clothing brand. The audacity! Bakugu raises his voice, causing for the people to look at them. Idru rolled his eyes as they enter the bullet train. I can't believe my clothes was the limitation of your love for me, he faked pout. Sure, the colors clashed a bit, but man, Bakugu is just merciless. Who said it's about the FNG clothes? Why is there only one bed? They finished checking in at the hotel, Regina Resort, Kyokuruizawa. It's already past 8, meaning it's past his usual bedtime, so Katsuki was about to throw a motherfucking tantrum. One more question from Kirishima and he'll if ANG lose it. We're the husbands, get that on your head, you moron. Obviously Baba will book a room with a single bed. Katsuki didn't stop himself from snapping, even finger quoting the word husband. Kirishima was annoying and loud. He already knew that, but today shitty hair is extra annoying. Bakugu this, Bakugu that. Bakugu, how do you do this? Bakugu, look how cute is that. Who has the FING energy? The whole time the redhead was talking non-stop and Katsuki realized he should have borrowed the strongest hold tape Siro has, because he needs it to glue Kirishima's lips together. Kirishima frowns at him. Finally he stopped talking. He took a deep sigh and arranged his suitcases in silence. Seconds turns to minutes, Then a certain someone still isn't doing anything, just staring at him like a freak. What the F are you doing? The earlier they could unpack, the faster they can go to bed. But right now Katsuki is doing all the work, meaning shitty hair will delay his sleep time more. Kirishima shakes his head, then grabbed his backpack. Wait, where do you think you're going, shitty hair? Why should I tell you? It's not like you care. Even from the start. Then he cringed at the way Kirishima banged the door. Katsuki lets out a defeated sigh. Why is Kirishima being like that? Katsuki just wanted peace of mind, not him walking away. Now what should he do? Should he go after him and make sure he's okay? Shit, was Kirishima mad? Why was he mad? Katsuki just scolded him a bit, but they both knew it was nothing, right? Katsuki is too tired to care. He slept and didn't even worry if Kirishima comes back. He know he will. So, when is your birthday? He heard Kirishima asked someone. October 16th, a guy responded. What? Dude, no way. We have so much in common. Unless by this time you're lying. Kirishima laughed loudly. No man, no kidding. True, true, true. I can't believe I found my soulmate. Or twin flame. The guy laughs too, leveling Kirishima's enthusiasm. When Katsuki woke up in the morning, Kirishima's bags was missing, and so was he. So in that moment he knew shitty hair didn't come back after their argument. Why are they arguing for though? He doesn't know. But when he went down to the reception area to find Kirishima, he had found him first. Now he was wearing a white oversized t-shirt and red bomber jacket, black ripped skinny jeans, the one he gave him. This time dumb hair abandoned his ugly Crocs and wore a red, black, white Nike Air Max, matching all his clothes, and kept his hair on spikes, ear piercing on display. Katsuki almost felt proud and wants to compliment him, but shitty hair is in his unusual bad mood, even scowling, and it may or may not worry Katsuki, but his pride is too big to apologize on whatever he did wrong, and Katsuki doesn't know how to start a conversation. So when the tour guide asked the tourists to gather, follow her and don't be lost, he started, but Kirishima remained silent, not even acknowledging his presence, but he knows better not to engage a fight with him more. Katsuki followed the tour guide as well as the other tourists. The two of them didn't talk, but Kirishima was walking behind him, following him, and that's enough for Katsuki. Enough for him for the first FNG 20 minutes. The first tourist spot was the Uchimura Kanzo Memorial Stone Church, an architectural wonder nestled in Karuizawa's vibrant nature. The tour guide was in the middle of explaining the site, composed by an alternate sequence of stone and glass arches of increasing size, through which the sunlight creates a solemn atmosphere. This uniquely designed structure will go down in history as a rare example of organic architecture, a building style that prioritizes balance with the surrounding nature. It's the perfect venue for weddings and other ceremonies. When he heard Kirishima laughed behind him. When he turned around, there was another guy, who had his arm around shitty hair's shoulder, quite long, messy gray hair which is rather peculiar in that it never seems to change shape, and black eyes. Who wore a plain gray shirt and brown cargo shorts. Not even a full day and shitty hair already made a friend? Katsuki snorted. Whatever, it's fine. It was fine until Katsuki starts to get annoyed on how close the two of them become. What the F? How is that even possible that they already call each other bro, had exchanged phone numbers, and already plan a hangout meeting some other time? Katsuki was also forced to listen to their whole conversation as they are just behind him, voice so loud that it drowns the voice of the tour guide who uses a FNG mic. Kirishima saying he has twin brothers, while the guy, he called him Tetsu, has twin sisters. Apparently Tetsu used to work in the cafe Kirishima was now working at before he left Shinjuku to live in Aichi Prefecture. Then Tetsu guy said calorie mate is his best food to go, and so was Kirishima. Kirishima saying he prefers dogs but cats are cute, and that's what Tetsu thinks too. Katsuki doesn't even FNG know those things about Kirishima, and it angers him. So when Tetsu said that Kirishima was probably his soulmate, Katsuki had to interfere. Not because he's jealous, because both of them are getting annoying. Yeah, that's just it, he thinks. Katsuki stopped walking, causing for Tetsu to bump to him. See? Moron number 2 doesn't even look at his way, too focused on Kirishima, that's why he bumps into him. Ow dash, Tetsu rubbed his shoulders. Oh, I'm sorry I didn't dash. Who the F is he? he pointed at Tetsu, sending death glares at Kirishima. Oh, his name is Tetsu, he's a Ahei friend. Kirishima explains, fidgeting in his place. Is he doing? Who is he? Tetsu asked a now shitty hair who refused to meet Katsuki's gaze. They are already on the FING level of closeness? Katsuki doesn't even call him that, and so was shitty hair, but now a stranger gets to call him that. His blood is boiling right now. Oh, Tetsu, this is Bakugo, he's my husband. I am his effing husband. Katsuki grabbed Kirishima's wrist towards him, snatching him away from Tetsu. And friend? Shitty hair will introduce him as a friend. Katsuki didn't know why is he mad considering maybe they're friends, but whatever, he's too angry to think. Tetsu had his eyes wide open, in shock, clearly not expecting the revelation. It's either he is too shocked to acknowledge the future Jizisyo is front of him or... Then Tetsu laughed hard. What the f is he laughing for? What's fa funny you but hat? Oh no, I'm sorry, I can't believe you think I'll fall for that part. Married to him? Oh boy, that was good. Tetsu said through laughing tears. What? Did Kirishima told him the fake story that they are going through right now? The pathetic story of Katsuki's life? Tell him, Idru, he said in the low voice. Warning. Yeah, as if calling him by his first name will change that fact. A friend? A companion maybe? But husband? Come on, Kirishima, who has his eyes glued to the floor, said in a low voice, Tetsu, this is Bakugo Katsuki, my husband. Katsuki grins as he saw Tetsu's smile fell from his face. True that they are in a fake relationship, but the marriage contract was real. Even though forced, legally and technically, he's a married man and Kirishima was his husband. You don't need to ride with his jokes, come on, the tour guide is getting away. Tetsu, it's true, I'm married. We're here for our honeymoon. Kirishima said in a small voice, trying his best to force a smile. And in that moment, Katsuki decided that he is a FING piece of shit. For being too hard on him last night, for agreeing to be in this stupid honeymoon trip, for letting grandmother get away with her bullshit, for taking Ciro's FNG advices, for him being the one who came up with the FING fake boyfriend in the first place. He knows Kirishima was doing this for his own sake, repenting for lying or some shit, but he didn't consider his feelings. Now he know why the redhead was that annoying yesterday. He was excited and happy. Whether because it's a free tour or because he was with Katsuki, it doesn't matter. Now Katsuki was witnessing on how this fake relationship is affecting Kirishima. He wants it to stop and set him free. Oh, I see. Well, it was nice being with you, Enjoy your honeymoon. I'll text you. Then Tetsu jogged back, away from the two of them. Okay, what the f is that dash? When Katsuki turned around, Kirishima was already walking on the opposite direction, following the tour guide and tourists not even waiting for him. F dash, is he really that mad? You literally fought with him and now he had found a friend, you made them go away. What the f is wrong with you? His brain told him. He doesn't know what the f is wrong with him either. That's it for this spot. Next stop is Karuizawa Prince Shopping Plaza. Everyone, I hope you have the energy to shop till you drop. Because we are going to a huge outlet area. The tourist guide said through the speakers. Hey, do you know that's where my husband bought our wedding rings? Two ladies passed by Katsuki, following the rest of the tourists. Really? Are the jewelries that good quality in that mall? The other lady laughs slightly. Yeah, you could say that, though I just think he's a little extra. Katsuki snorted. He could and would relate to that lady's husband. Hubby, tongue sticking out. Meet me at Nagakura Lake Garden at dinner, 7 p.m. Idru rereads the message for the 100th time, mostly just staring at the stupid dumb contact name on his phone. After the high in acceptance that he got married to his fake boyfriend, he changed Bakugo's contact name to this and had planned to show it to him once they got here, but yesterday it feels like he went a little overboard and made Bakugo mad. Idru knows he had a loud mouth, but his friends doesn't seem to mind, so he thought Bakugo would too. Okay, he has a short temper, but so far he had managed to keep up with him at least until last night. Bakugo always curse and insults him and he's used to it, but he didn't know why he felt upset, particularly last night's events. He knows it's petty considering on how Bakugo's face for the whole time looks like he is constipated, but the last straw was Bakugo acting mighty again, putting up a front in his new friend Tetsu. Kaiju could have admitted they weren't really in love and all that. Okay, Bakugo was attractive, but that's other news. But Bakugo fought with him and he was lonely and kinda worried. He didn't even came from him to find where he been. And now that he had found someone who's kinda interesting, though platonic only, Bakugo acted like he was jealous and made Tetsu go away from him. That's when he realized Bakugo doesn't care, even as friends. But what about those other times Bakugo seemed to care? Idru is going crazy. Now Bakugo texted him to meet at this garden lake, which is a pretty romantic setting, and it's already ruined by Idru's foul mood. Sorry, flowers. There are lights, and he could see couples who were eating dinner by the lake, doing couple ly things. While Idru was here sulking because he had a fight with his husband/not husband. Then there was a thud in the table that made him snap from his sulking. A bouquet of red roses, with rustic leaves in black wrapping and tied in a big red ribbon. Dash. He blinks at Bakugo, who took a seat in front of him. Did he just? Did Bakugo just? Is this for me? The F. Do you think it's for? He frowns. Bakugo could give him all the materials in this world, but if he continues to be like, then no, he can't accept this. If Bakugo just know how to apologize, then. Look, I'm not good with words, okay? F. Why I'm nervous, it's just F dash. Okay, but. Bakugo even hesitated, struggling to form his words. Idru wants to laugh because he was struggling to say he's sorry? Was that hard for him? I'm sorry, Idru. Bakugo whispers, he could almost not hear him. Bakugo, it's not dash. No, F. Wait, let me finish. He said, not even letting him to finish. I'm sorry that you're forced married to a stuck-up a-hole with issues like me. Idru held his breath. All he wants was Bakugo to say sorry. Not degrade himself. I know, today was a FING reminder again on how toxic I am. And I can't do this. Bakugo rubs his face in frustration. Idru took the flowers and reached out one of Bakugo's hand in his. Which was a surprise to the blonde. He could see tears already in the other's eyes, so he really must be sorry. Hey, it's okay. We don't need to dash. No, it's not FNG okay. You're too kind. Kick me, punch me, I'd let you. So that you could give a payback on dash. Katsuki, please. We're not doing this. He gestures to the people who were now staring at them, probably thinking, what's the commotion all about? I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings, that was insensitive in my part. I was sorry last night, but I'm apologizing for all the shit I caused you from the start too, I guess. Does he accept his apology? You don't need to FNG accept my apology, I'm saying is that, no, let me rephrase that, I mean to say dash. You meant to say that it's okay if I don't accept your apology right away because you'll make an effort to make it right until I accept it? By now Idru knows Bakugo language, and he's sure that was the blonde was trying to say. Bakugo let his forehead rest on the table. You're too good for me. Idru laughs. He accepted Bakugo's apology, but he won't say it, scared that once he did, Bakugo might do the same thing again. But he bought him flowers too. He blushed at the thought. Hey, he cares. You'll promise to be a good husband? Idru jokes, trying to lighten up the mood. He can't stand to look at a sad Bakugo. Bakugo shakes his head, still frowning. That was awkward. He thought Bakugo would ride along with his flirty jokes, but their husbands, right? Well, yeah, they're not really, but were they? Isn't the marriage contract official though? Bakugo grabs something from his pocket, a small velvet box. Idru's eyes widened. Is that? I know, you don't FING love me nor I love you, but Baba announced a FING engagement and wedded us off in a span of a week, so I thought this could be a good props or whatever. Bakugo said, but his tone, lying. Yeah, they are together, not that together, for almost a month now, and he could translate and guess what Bakugo is trying to say. He took the dainty glistening gold band with his fingers, because there's no way he would let Bakugo slips him that ring, and he knows Bakugo wouldn't too. Inside of the band was 6 to 20 embedded on it, their wedding day, well, contract day. You made it custom? How'd you even know my finger size? Idru asked, still admiring the ring. Bakugo scoffs, and he's back, ladies and gentlemen. Zero works for the FBI. Wait, he does. Bakugu smiled at him, shaking his head. But he noticed he was wearing a necklace. Since when Bakugu has a necklace? Shopped for himself? I'm effing hungry, let's eat. Bakugu said and gestured for a waiter. Idru looks at him. He was really out there buying him flowers, rings, and taking him out for a date. Why did he do this? Just like you said, I'm trying to be a good husband. Bakugu said, eyes still on the menu. Idru bites his lips. Did he said that out loud? Yes, you did, the blonde said again, flipping the menu. I did not say that. Idru accused. He was sure that he didn't say, did I say that out loud? Loud. Bakugu then laughs, head thrown backwards. Your face, look at your face. Hadash, he pointed out to his face. Oh my god, it's his first time seeing Bakugu laughs this hysterical, so he had laughed too. Dude, what the hell? Then why did you answer my question in my mind? Bakugu rolled his eyes, but still laughing. You said why did I do that out loud, yes, but the second time you didn't, but since you were so shocked the first time I answer, I assumed that you asked yourself if you said that out loud. Idru groans. Ugh, I thought you were reading my mind. I do, try it. Think a question of something, then I'll answer. I bet I could be a better soulmate than that Tetsugai. Bakugu challenged. All right. Idru said, so what should he think? Do you like me? He lets out a small chuckle. He sounds like one of those people asking a question, and Bakugu is a magic 8-ball. Okay, what's the answer? Yep. Yes, without a doubt. Definitely. Bakugu smugly announced. Idru doesn't know what to respond, so he said, dang. Wrong. Ah. You asked, is Bakugu Katsuki the greatest of all time? Or a question similar to that, right? So the answer is yes. Idru nodded. Yep. And that's why I said it's wrong. Because I am the GOAT. Whatever, lie to yourself. I'll practice more and be best at mind reading. He laughs at the determination. Idru Kirishima, #1 liar, best pretender. Bakugu's right. Katsuki, I swear if you don't get your sheet together, he yells at Bakugu, who was goofing around. They were now in Ujuatoge viewpoint. After hiking, they reached the peak. This opportunity is only once in a lifetime, so he wanted to take normal photos as much as possible, but Bakugu isn't cooperating. The pictures were either blurred or one of them were cropped out. He just wanted a picture of Bakugu in his clothes. Yep, you heard that right. You thought the future owner of GZ wouldn't wear his clothes? That's what he thought too. Last night after dining, they went back to their hotel room and slept in the same bed. Idru hesitated, but Bakugu pulls him in, but with only one warning. No cuddles. But in the morning he was sweating too much and it got uncomfortable. He wanted to get up early for breakfast when he felt that he was paralyzed. Because Bakugu had his arms around him, his face on Idru's neck. A leg draping on his thighs. So much for no cuddling when he was a cuddler. He tried to wiggle out of Bakugu's grasp because the blonde's leg was touching his crotch area, and the least thing he wanted is for this honeymoon trip to be a honeymoon trip. He's okay with trip alone. But Bakugu clings to him tighter. He can almost feel his breath tickling his neck. And then Faye felt it. He is going to sneeze sheet. Idru is known for his loud sneezing noise. If he did it, then Bakugu will be woken up to this scene and he will kill him. He would say it was him who cuddled, but there's no way Bakugu would admit it. He can't hold his sneeze. He closed his eyes. He closed his mouth, but still, the noise woke Bakugu up. And he felt him went rigid beside him. He sits up straight. Bro, I know you said no cuddling, but you were the one dash. First second head start. Is what just the shocked and half-asleep blonde said, but he got the warning. Idru didn't waste his time. He had bolted to the bathroom, making sure he grabbed his clothes that they prepared last night for today's trip. When he closed the door, there was a thump that follows, probably a pillow thrown by Bakugu, then it was followed by a loud, frustration. He chuckles. Well, at least he isn't getting suffocated by a pillow again. Seriously, don't put pillows and Bakugu together. He went for the shower and grabs his towel. When he was to put his clothes, an oversized white t-shirt, black long sleeves and black ripped jeans, he realized his mistake. It wasn't his clothes. He grabbed the wrong hanger. So option was either go out there and face Bakugu naked, or go out there and face death but with clothes on. He chose the latter. Bakugo made him choke on a pillow again and refused to wear clothes that's been already worn. He said it's only for 2 minutes, but then the man was adamant about sanitary principles. So now he was trying to take a good photo of Bakugo in his black plain t-shirt and red basketball jersey with bold letters Kirishima 16 on his back. But yeah, he won't cooperate and Idru's patience is thinning. Everyone please look behind you back. Isn't the view so appealing up here? The tour guide comments and everyone did what they were told. Idru quickly snaps a photo of Bakugo's back. You can see his last name written clearly, as his cream-colored hair blends at the background perfectly. The picture was just so perfect he could use this as a lock screen. He tightens the hold on his chest. It happened again, just like in the wedding. Does he have a heart problem? Is he sick? Come here and give him your phone. Let's take the FING picture together like you wanted. Bakugo calls out to him and pointing to a tourist stranger. Finally, Idru was waiting for Bakugo at a food stall when he heard a conversation between a couple, arguing. I thought you'll bid and take me to Kokoro Island. The girl yelled at his boyfriend. Babe, I'm sorry, but someone placed a higher offer. We still can go to other places dash. But the girl ignored him, and Idru watched as the guy jogs after her. What's wrong with people? There's nothing he hates more than people who value materials than a person. If it was him, if his boyfriend is poor, as long as he loves him it'll be alright. Oi! Someone tapped his shoulder. Katsuki was handling him a piece of paper, a receipt, a ticket. He took and read it. Kokoro Island. Admission 1. What? Admission 1? Kokoro Island? Isn't that what the couple were just talking about? Katsuki, what's this? I hope you're in for a helicopter ride. //. Dear guests, just below 25,405 feet is where the Kokoro Island is. Please enjoy the view. The pilot said, as they changed the music to a more slow song. They are now inside a helicopter, 2 pilots and only him and Bakugo. Idru looked down. Now he knows why it's called Kokoro Island, because the small island was shaped like a heart. It's appealing. The island was surrounded by the blue sea. He can see the birds flying above it. Wait, how much it costs again? The couple said, bidding right? Katsuki, is this part of the itinerary? He already knows the answer, but he wants a confirmation. Bakugo removes his headphone for a while so that he can hear him. Huh? How much is this? He leans closer and asked. 150,000 yen. What? Why did you to that? He paid for 150 man yen for this. You're worth it. Now it's Idru's time to not hear what he's been saying. What? Bakugo rolled his eyes. It's effing worth it. He grins. Yes, it was appealing. How come Earth was blessed with views like this? Too perfect. I wish you're my love. Let's love now, say goodbye. I can't deceive you now, give me permission, so I can gather courage today. If your heart is the same as mine, if you want me, please come to me. Let's start together now. He takes a look at Bakugo, who was looking at the island, with a satisfied look on his face. Yep, what a perfect view. He clutched to his chest waiting for it to happen again. And there you have it. It was when he hopped off and the girls cooed at him, saying he is so lucky to have Bakugo as a husband, since one admission was 150 man per person. Idru almost passed out. The next time it happened, they are on Charade Falls. Their next destination was a waterfall and they are given permission to swim. It's when Bakugo tore of his clothes and he suddenly forgot how to breathe. Yeah, Dimon, he's hot, he already know that, but it was the necklace Bakugo is wearing. He is wearing a ring in his necklace. The pendant dangles right in the middle of his chest. Despite the band being gold, the necklace was silver. He doesn't need to ask what ring was that because it looks like just the same Bakugo had given to him. He had thought of selling the ring after they go home, but now looking at Bakugo, he wears that since he bought the ring, and Idru didn't even bother putting it on after Bakugo gave it. It just resting in his bag's pocket. He frowns. Does that mean anything? Or Bakugo just like accessories? Shitty hair, let's go. The F, are you waiting for? I don't dash. Can't swim. He nodded. It's embarrassing really, and he expected Bakugo to make fun of him and tease him, but it didn't came. Instead, Bakugo swam close to the wood he was sitting on, and say, I'll teach you, come on. He blinks. You will. Trust me? Bakugo said, no, he asked. He asked if he trusted him enough with his life. He hesitated for a moment, then he held Bakugu's hand. Jumping in the water, afraid being drowned, he clings to Bakugu's shoulder for support. You know I do. It's a good thing today was rest day and the tourists can do the F they want because his muscles are aching and he caught a FING cold. Kirishima almost drowned twice but Katsuki almost died twice. That was the difference on yesterday's swimming lesson. He drank about a gallon of fresh FING water from that waterfall. But he had an excuse to held Kirishima, and if that's what it takes to be close like then he bet that death is gonna double look at him once he enter hell and say, "You again WTF?" Katsuki doesn't want to be a burden, so he told Kirishima that he can do whatever since he can't do shit when he's sick. He'll be bedridden for a day. It's almost 5 p.m. now and Kirishima still hasn't come back. Maybe Kirishima ran to Tetsu again and decided since he wasn't around, they could hang out. Then the door clicked open, Kirishima holding so many bags, plastic bag, paper bag, was that a bag of Dior make? Oh hi, you're awake. Feeling better? Still feels like sheet. Kirishima laughs softly, then arranged the things he had bought. By the looks of it, it was souvenirs from a gift shop. Where you've been? He asked, then immediately regretted it because he sounded like a nagging mom. I'm with Tetsu. The redhead admitted, not even bothering to tell Katsuki a well-constructed lie. He's that straightforward. This trip no doubt made them closer, too close to be honest, and Katsuki is starting to think that maybe there is a chance that they like each other? But no one is saying anything, so, yeah. He kinda liked Kirishima, he wasn't the worst to be with. But now the guy was admitting he was with the other guy, just like Katsuki had thought. He heard Kirishima snorted, I'm married, remember. He wiggles his fingers to show off the ring Katsuki gave him. It's the first time he wore the ring. It hurt a bit when he checks the redhead's hands every day and seeing him doesn't wearing the ring. Okay, Katsuki knows he doesn't have the right to get man since seriously he's so tired of addressing himself as Kirishima's fake lover but husband by paper. Messy, right? But it's just nice to know that Kirishima values the things he gave him, and he's sure that it was the first time he wore the ring. So was it a sign? I just needed him to show me around where to buy medicines, since I can't bother a tour guide. Katsuki wanted to be jealous, but how can he? First, Kirishima was his but wasn't really his, and second, the guy may spend time with Tetsu but it was because for his sake. So Katsuki doesn't know what to feel. Sleep on the floor tonight. He meant to say, thank you and don't come near me or you'll get sick, but instead that's what he said. He's the moron between the two of them. Already planning on that. I would love to be near you, but if I get sick then who's gonna take care for the both of us? And I already figured out you wouldn't let me, so. DMNFING, right. Katsuki rolled over and snuggles to the blanket more. He was too tired, he just want to sleep and eat and then sleep again. I'll wake you up when it's time to eat and drink your medicine, okay? He nodded and went to sleep. Katsuki could feel someone shaking him by the shoulders. But he doesn't want to get up. After few more minutes of, Katsuki, it's time for meds. And him not responding, he heard a heavy sigh and a hand on his head. Kirishima was stroking his hair. You've got no idea what you do to me. He heard him whisper in the dark, and when he felt him place a kiss on his forehead, and, I think I like you, Katsuki. I thought I was just having problems, but when I got too close, or you did the most stupidest dash. I'm not stupid. Katsuki wanted to yell but he can't, because Kirishima was having his own monologue right now. Or confession, he doesn't know. But cutest things my heart goes thump. It's either that or it skips a beat, you'll be the death of me. Then he giggles, and now Kirishima was caressing his cheeks. Katsuki fought back not to open his eyes. I know you'll say it's a corny pickup line, and if you're hearing this you might yell at me, so I'm taking this opportunity to tell you that. I hear you and you're an idiot. Is it possible roll your eyes when your eyes are close? Because yeah, Katsuki just did that. Then in low and sad voice, Katsuki, I don't know how to say this but I don't want to do this anymore. It's hurting me and dash. And? Kirishima lets out a small chuckle again, now pinching his cheek. I'm an idiot, the hell am I doing? Then he heard footsteps, him walking away just like that. Katsuki already know how this is going to be messy. He had a crush on the other, but he didn't expect that Kirishima liked him too. And now he said Katsuki was hurting him. Katsuki was the problem. The guy doesn't want to be his fake boyfriend in the first place, but Katsuki kind of forced him. And now he was forced by his grandmother into marriage. Kirishima, being an angel that he is, probably did it for the sake of him and his company, not even thinking for himself. Katsuki owes Kirishima everything, from being his +1, a fake boyfriend, and now keeping up with a marriage. He swore he felt more sick than earlier. Katsuki knows what's the right thing to do, and he's going to do it. And yeah, I've let you use me from that day that we first met, but I'm not done yet falling for you, fool's gold. And I knew that you turn in on for everyone you met, but I don't regret falling you, fool's gold. For a Sunday night, Denki's bar wasn't filled with so many people. Because who would want to get spicy with this kind of song? Idru passed his empty glass to his blonde friend. More. Denki looks at him with a concerned look. Bro, that's your 4th drink. I know your alcohol tolerance is low. You want to get killed? Might as well. He watched Denki pour him a drink again. Bakugo was ignoring him for 3 days straight, and he doesn't know what he did wrong. Just like that, no explanations. Friday morning when he woke up still in the hotel in Karuizawa, Bakugo was missing. Then he found him at the garden lake. He even had surprised hug him and asked him if he was feeling any better. The blonde just nodded and then walks away from him. That is when he noticed something is wrong. But he thought Bakugo was just still not okay, so he let it pass. Though Bakugo isn't talking, he still waits for him if he was taking too long taking pictures, and walking by his side. Still he isn't worried. He started to feel something was off when they entered the museum and they were asked to take off any kind of medals, jewelries and accessories on them. Idru passed a small pouch to Bakugo so that he could put his necklace and wristwatch in there. The blonde muttered thanks, and proceeds to take off his wristwatch, then putting the pouch in a small tray. Bakugo didn't take off his necklace because he wasn't even wearing it in the first place. Maybe he forgot? But then going home, when he sat on a seat of the train and waits for the other, Bakugo passed by him. He blinks again. Aren't they supposed to be seated together? Or Bakugo had read his seat number wrong. He stood up, wanting to call on him, then, it was Tetsu, who was grinning at him. Your husband is a places with me. He said he was sick? And he doesn't want you to get sick, so, may I? Idru nodded and let Tetsu sit beside him. Bakugo was sick yesterday. He was perfectly fine today. Was he avoiding him? When they got to Shinjuku Station, Bakugo didn't hop off, but it was Idru's stop. When he looks at Bakugo, the guy had his customized black AirPods on, and looking outside the window. Is he mad at him? Of course Tetsu had to hop off Shinjuku too because he wanted to visit his old friends, and when he asked him, aren't you with your husband? Where is he? Idru just smiles at him. He doesn't want me to catch the cold, remember? To which Tetsu replied, what a weird guy. That night he texted Bakugo and thanked him for the whole trip. He didn't get a reply. Then he asked him what's wrong and if they're okay. Still, he was left on read with no replies. Idru didn't sleep that night. Not until he got answers. On Saturday he went to GZ to see Bakugo, but his usual free pass apparently got revoked. Not only he can't go to Bakugo's office, he was banned from GZ. Idru got mad and called Siro right there. Hello? Siro Hanta speaking. Where's Katsuki? Then he can hear whispers and some other voices on the line. I'm sorry Kirishima, Bakugo's not here. After a whole minute, Siro finally replied. What? Where could he be? He called the main house number and Yamamoto said Bakugo wasn't home. No one is answering his condo unit hotline, and now he isn't at GZ? Idru is getting nervous now. Is Bakugo okay? Where could he be? He said something about lunch with Todoroki. It's only 11:15 though, early lunch? He knows that lunchtime was 12 o'clock, and wait, isn't Todoroki in Italy? He knows he was in Italy because he saw an IG story that he was shooting for a film. Then he noticed the security guard looks to him and the screen in front of him, back and forth. What, is he watching him through the monitor? CCTV? Then he got an idea, quickly went over to the security guard and checks the monitor. Too many real-time video, but then there is it, camera 201, he zooms in. Siro was pacing, his hand on his forehead while cell phone was on his ear. Bakugo was there. He was there sitting on his chair, a book on his hand. That son of a beach. Oh, what time you think he'll get back? He played along, then he asked the security guard whispering, "Where's the mic that's connected to the speakers?" The guard gestures to the receptionist, and sure there was a small mic stand beside her like for tour guides and the one who gives a TED Talk. "I'm sorry Kirishima, I really don't know." Idru went over to the receptionist again and literally shoved her away. "I see, please tell him I left a message when he gets back." "What message dash?" Then he pressed the on button and through the mic he said, "Bokogu Katsuki, you lying son of a beach. Todoroki is in Italy, I follow him on IG. Make better excuses," then turned it off and ended the call. Now his message was heard throughout the building. People were shocked of course, but the security guard smiled at him and aims for a high five. At least there's someone in here that supports him. Now he took a look at the monitor again. Bokogu is running trying to catch Siro, who ran and jumps from Bokogu's desk and furnitures. He felt good. But that was only what he initially felt, because he was sulking on a Sunday, still he's on leave with pay so he didn't work. And he has nothing to do, he slept again. And tonight, he went to Denki's not to work, but as a customer. "I called it, what did I told you? You did this to yourself." Denki reminded him again on how he was wrong. "Yeah, and I fake dated him for a month too. Just like I said. I liked him in a span of a month. And I got married in a month. How cool is that? Do we speak prophecies now, dude?" he jokes. "Your love for him isn't real EI, it was just your mind tricking you because you are married to him that you think you're supposed to act domestic way." But he kinda liked Bokogu even before being married. When he got upset on the first night of the trip it's not because he was pretending and just wanted to get Bokogu's attention. When Bokogu gifted him flowers and ring, he wasn't just acting, he liked it. The swimming lesson? He could do it with him again. He checks his phone 2204 displayed on his screen, and his lock screen was the picture of them, his arm around Bokogu's shoulder, his other hand a peace sign, while Bokogu throws up a middle finger, sticking out his tongue, wearing his basketball jersey. He even remembered now the guy called the two of them a dynamic duo, and asked them how does it feel to be in love with a best friend. "If my feelings for him are fake, then why does it hurt like this?" he asked Denki. "Are those feeling fake?" He doesn't think so. If he was still faking it then why does it affect him in the worst possible way? If he was faking it then he'll be glad to get out of this mess, but when Bokogu ignored and lied to him why do he feel the opposite? Denki massaged his temples. "You're too stubborn, I don't want to do this but someone asked me to give it to you with the complete instruction, give it to Kishima only if he stand his ground. I don't know what does that mean at first but right now, I think I know." Then he hands him a small white envelope. He checks the inside of the envelope. He can't understand what the latter part meant but he has an idea to the first two. Idru knows what to do. "You look like sheet." He growls at Siro who was arranging the papers needed for today's meeting. Today, Grandma is giving him the whole company. Still Katsuki was a nervous wreck. He thinks it's too early for him to handle a company. GZ is about to debut another collection that he isn't part of organizing. The timing is sheet. He'll be forced to attend Fashion Week and be interviewed to the bullshit he doesn't know. Since he was out there on his honeymoon trip and no one gave his details, he was literally going for a war with no weapon. But it was grandmother's choice, so if GZ burned down in shambles, it was on her. A public appearance with him stressed like this, it will not end well on GZ's part. For the past 3 days he barely had the energy to talk or eat, and the most adrenaline he felt was on Saturday when Kirishima barged in and embarrassed him in the whole building. To be honest, he deserves it. He left him with no explanation and gave him the cold shoulder silent treatment. When he asked Tetsu to be placed he almost regretted it when he saw the two of them sharing their common habits again. But it was for the best. Katsuki stayed at the main house almost every day right now, but told Yamamoto if ever Kirishima called tell him he wasn't home. He was scolded by Grandma every time but this time he wouldn't let her tell him how to run his life. She was the reason why he was married with a fake boyfriend at the first place. Rumors start spreading around that Katsuki was a divorcee after a week of marriage and Kirishima was the one to call it quits and the scene he caused on Saturday didn't help for the rumors to die down, thus doing the opposite. Yumi called him and asked him about what happened, and then he told her everything. She told him he's an idiot and he needs to talk Kirishima because if he attend overseas shows he will be forced to bring Kirishima since the whole world knows he's a married man and they'll ask for him. Another F-up situation. Katsuki said he'll think about it and said sorry about his grandmother overshadowing her wedding day. She laughs it off and said it was okay on her part since she was close to her, but Takahashi apparently aren't, and said if Katsuki and Kirishima got married and he get to do a speech, he'll talk about her PRGN and his feelings to be an excited father. Katsuki makes sure he'll never give Takahashi a microphone if ever that happens, or ban him from his wedding ceremony. Well, maybe because I feel like shit. Katsuki opened his water bottle and took a sip. Come on man, meeting's gonna start it, get your sheet together. Shiro warned him again, he admires his hard work and dedication to his work. That's what he told me too. Then the doors opened, it was his mom that first to enter, followed by about 15 more guests, and last to enter was the very reason Katsuki was now in a pinch. How are you today, dearie? His grandmother asked him as she took a seat to the most center aisle, with the golden name plate on her desk that reads President/Owner. Fine. But I will be taking that seat from you after this. His grandmother chuckles and replied, yeah, but you need to man up first and do the presentation. She winks. Shiro was fidgeting in his place, so was the others, guests glancing at the both of them because President Grandma doesn't crack a joke if they're inside this very building. Like ever. So why is she in a good but weird mood? But whatever, he needs to finish this meeting. He made sure to grunt and roll his eyes before saying, good morning everyone, I'm Bakugo Katsuki. Shall we start the meeting? He asked as the guests nods, and opening their folders and getting their ball pens. He looks at Shiro, who gave him a reassuring nod. Oh well, here goes nothing. He was currently taking in questions about next month's fashion week when the door suddenly flew open, startling almost everyone in the whole room. It was an angry Kirishima, who wore his red cafe uniform, still an apron on and denim breathes. Hair was tangled into a messy bun and he was gripping a piece of paper. The guests started to murmurs and whisper, probably asking on who's intruding and interfering a meeting. But since he needs to be professional, he looks at Shiro again, who gave him a knowing look. Well? Do something. And these people knew he was married and didn't know he was having love-life problems and on a midlife crisis. He acts again, but he promised it's for the last time. Katsuki tried his best to force a smile. Oh babe, what are you doing here? I'm currently in a meeting, could you wait for a more minutes outside? He was going in for a hug when Kirishima punched him square on the face. Collective gasps were heard. He felt his jaw, shitty hair didn't seem held back. He felt dizzy, his instinct kicked in. He stand up and tried to fight back, but suddenly Shiro was on him, holding him back. Oh, Kiri, what the hell? It was Shiro who was mad, because Katsuki, even angry, couldn't just tell Kirishima off. Not when he knew he was the reason why the other was mad at the first place. Don't try to do anything funny, Bakugo, not when I get an explanation. He didn't know Kirishima can get angry like this, but he's scary. He looks at his audience. Some were holding out their phones. Seriously? Some were starting at them with wide eyes, even his mom. But his grandmother, her face was unreadable. How come Kirishima even entered when he banned him from GZ? Did the receptionist forgot? And how come the guards were still not here? Stranger danger? The security is shit in this company. Babe, he warned again, let's talk about it at home later, yeah? Your husband is in a very important meeting right now. I'm not your husband, is what he didn't expect to Kirishima to say. Shiro starts yanking Kirishima's arms to get his out of the room, but it's no use since he was a FING rock, pure muscles, and Shiro was, well, Shiro. Is he admitting their real relationship on front of his company's very special guests? Oh hell no. Well, I am technically your husband, but... Kirishima faced the audience and walks up front to where Katsuki and Shiro was standing. Bakugo and I were fake dating. He wasn't my boyfriend and we went under forced marriage. Kirishima. Stop it. Shiro ran to the hotline near a desk. Hello? Could you send some securities here in meeting room 302? Yes, we have a problem. Katsuki stood there in shock. Kirishima doesn't know what the F he is doing. Any dirt on him was a dirt in the company. But he can't move. He watched in horror on how Kirishima admits everything. Bakugo paid me a huge sum of money to be his +1 on Ehara's wedding and to attend a lunch invitation by his grandmother. I just met him once and next day I agreed because of money. Kirishima looks at him then back to the people. There's no engagement that happened nor a wedding ceremony because we were just forced to sign a contract marriage. Yep, you heard that right, your future seal Bakugo Katsuki isn't innocent as you thought. What the F dash? Is he throwing him under the bus? Ruining his name? The next thing I know I was on a honeymoon trip. Once again I had no idea we were going with a husband that used me for rentals. I know, we were in a F-ed up situation. But I don't regret it. Kirishima lower his voice, Shiro stopped talking on the phone, and he finds himself that his anger was dissipating. He used me sure, but I did it on my own will. Bakugo only paid me for the lunch and Ehara's wedding but I refused his money and signed the marriage contract. Because I felt equally as guilty as him, so I did it for free. Mrs. President, Mitsuki, I'm sorry but I like Katsuki. He bowed at them. Katsuki gulped. His mom has her mouth wide open. Shiro dropped the phone and his grandmother. Was she smiling or smirking? What the F dash? That 1 week honeymoon trip, nothing happened okay? Made me realize how I wanted to be with him, for real. But after that, Katsuki didn't talk to me and ignored me for about 4 days now, and I just wanted to know why. Where did I go wrong? One day you're acting like you care, then other day you're ignoring me. Kirishima was crying by now, and Katsuki felt his throat dry. After all the pretending I did, this is now the only time I wanted to stop, and people are telling me that my feelings maybe aren't real? If then can someone tell me what is real? Kirishima laughs bitterly, wiping his tears using his apron. Idru, he croaked. The only pretend I did was to be with him, but my feelings were real. I was happy all the time I'm with him, I was sad and angry whenever we fight. The only fake here is a label on what people call us, boyfriend? Husband? You name it, but I'm sure Katsuki feels the same way. Yes, he and do. So I'm here to confirm that, because this time Katsuki. I'm telling you to give me a sign. Tell me if you don't want me and I'll leave. Even if it hurt me, I'll do what you want. Katsuki grits his teeth. Oi, sheethead the F, are you saying? He was shaking in anger now. Kirishima looks at him with wide eyes, not expecting this reaction. You're here confessing your feelings to me but at the same time still asking for my permission on what should you do? Katsuki, I just. No. Stop asking me for a sign, and did he man up dash? Katsuki was crying too at this point, all his emotions were now crashing down at once. It was the first time he let it out. Since meeting Kirishima. Then okay. I like you alright. I want you to stop ignoring me because it's childish as shit. I want us to be for real, Katsuki. Yes, we are in a fake relationship but I told you my feelings were real. But I want to continue to feel those being with you, but this time no contract, no money offers. Kirishima was asking him to be his boyfriend. Or at least something like that. He wants this to stop because he wanted to be with him for real, not because he's done pretending and stopped caring for Katsuki. Deepening read it the wrong way. Then he heard an applause. Coming from a single person, there was his grandma still sitting on her seat, clapping her hands with a satisfied smile on her face. Finally one of you admitted it. Finally is what she said, but Katsuki didn't know what that meant. Grandma, what the F dash, are you entertained by this? He yelled at her, does she think this is funny? What the F dash? Kind of yes. But I already know you two were faking it, she said smugly. Kirishima tensed. Shiro did too as well as the other guests. He was sure he heard his mom said, Mom. What the F dash? Since when? Because same. But sheet, Granny knew? Katsuki really can't act for sheet if they were busted. I'm sorry ma'am but. How did you? Kirishima looks at him as he shakes his head then back to grandmother. From the start. She said it like it was the obvious thing in a world. You're shitting on me Baba? There's no way you could have known, then why dash? Then he was cut off again. I own GZ my sweet, one of the best clothing company in Japan. I am a businesswoman by heart and mind. You think you could fool me that easily? Think again my grandchild. Grandma took her folder, then get some pieces of paper. Is that their marriage contract? He can see his sign from here. If she knew, then how? And why did she effing do all this? I knew you were lying when you told me you met Idru at the bar in Shinjuku. That part may be true, but remember I asked you how many times you've been there. And what? Idru thought you're cute and got your number for the second time? I said thrice. But he only went there once. Grandma nodded. Yes, you said thrice, but I know you've been there once. Katsuki looks at Shiro, already accusing him of backstabbing by glaring, but Shiro just puts his hands up, shaking his head, as if to say, bro, I didn't sell you out. Stop that. Shiro didn't say anything to me, though I should have known he knew something. I asked you what car do you always use, correct? Katsuki nodded his head, so was Kirishima, but he got his eyes already opened wide. What? Does he realize something? The F-dash? Katsuki has no clue. All of our cars has GPS tracking system installed, Katsuki. I can track where and what time the cars were used and parked. The Black Wraith has been only once at. Grandma reads a piece of paper. Charge Bolt Bar, 16 minutes away from GZ, starting point, June 26th, Friday, 22:45 p.m. Japan Standard Time. Then she looks at them both. F-dash, he's got nothing with women with receipts. Katsuki's so effed he can't lie to his grandmother. Okay, he may lied about his whereabouts, but how did she knew about the money? You're probably thinking, how did I know? Not only you asked Idru to be your fake boyfriend, you paid him and rented him for days, right? Katsuki nodded. To be honest, the only thing he could do is nod. Did you forget I control all the money that's coming in and out in all of your bank accounts, and I have daily report of it, including all the expenses and needs of GZs? She gets another paper from her folder. What the F-dash? I don't really check on what you do on your account since you barely buy something that's kinda expensive, and once you do, I know what you bought, including the store or what website you used. But something caught my attention because on June 28th, Saturday 18:03 p.m., and on the following day you transferred 300,000 yen on someone's bank account. And a week after that, another 700,000 yen was reduced. Now, that's a total of 1 million yen. Imagine how many zeros are there that I needed to double check if it was on your personal account or GZ's. Now I asked Mitsuki to ask someone from the finance department if the withdrawal time and money is real, or it was just a technical error from the JP Bank. The more grandmother speak, the more he realized she's on another level. She's on the top tier. She didn't speak just based on hearsay, she delivers with proof and accuracy. Finance department. And Katsuki knew there was someone from the team that's always gets on his nerves. Monoma. And yes, in fact it was real and transferred to the same bank account you gave the 300,000 yen. I personally called the bank to give me the details on whose bank account the 1 million yen was transferred to, and guess what? Katsuki gulps. The account belongs to Idru Kirishima, who lives in Shiragancho, Shinjuku. Not only Kirishima, who looks as guilty as him, even Shiro refused to meet her gaze. Now it's not that hard to put 2 and 2 together. You happen to be dating someone who you met a day before? Not likely. Even your ex was a childhood friend, but you didn't act on it until you went to college, and it took me and your mom for you to finally ask someone on a date. I remember you were so mad that you didn't talk to me for 7 months. But then suddenly you bring home someone who you said you've been dating for 2 months and met them at a bar, but the GPS shows that you've been at that bar just 2 days before you brought him home. I announced your engagement that obviously didn't happen to the public to teach you a lesson that you should know better than to lie to your grandmother. I planned to give you a grand wedding to see if you'll back out, but no, both of you was stubborn and kept lying. Though I felt sorry for Idru, I already did a background check on him. I know he has only done this job, act as your lover for the sake of money. But you did make us marry. We signed the FNG marriage contract. Even though grandmother claims she knew they were lying, then why did she wedded him off? Katsuki. Kirishima tried to call out for him, but he ignored him. Yes, Katsuki lied, but where are her morals for forcing the two of them to marry? Yeah, he liked Kirishima now, but what if he hadn't? So he's forever stuck with him and go to a messy divorce? Oh, you mean this? Grandma pulls out a sheet of paper, their marriage contract, and tears it to half. Her mom, who's beside her, has her eyes so wide open that he thinks it'll bulge out of her eyeballs. But she's not the one. Even himself and well, all of them. This contract is obviously fake. You aren't married, your valid IDs still indicates you're single, and Idru was a Kirishima the whole time. This plan has a flaw. I was considering maybe I messed it up and you'll see through my plan, but oh well Katsuki, you have a long way to go. The sign. Katsuki, the contract said, sign here. I knew it. Kirishima explained to him by yelling, like? Thigenji knows. He signed it too. But what does he knew? Grandmother chuckled. True, we are in Japan my boy, we don't sign papers, we stamp them by using our official family seal, and that seal was in a glass case in your grandfather's vault, since ours was custom and made by a famous sculpture dating back 100 years ago. Yes, you can buy inken in a 100 yen store, but when it comes to legal papers you need the seal that's been registered officially in the municipal. I taught you this, she shakes her head but smiling to herself. Is grandmother just admitting all of this so she can tell everyone on how dumb her grandchild is? And seriously, do you think I will agree to wed you off to someone whose parents I haven't even met yet? You're my only grandchild, Katsuki. Heir of the whole company. I won't be just giving you away. It's true that I like Idru, he's a sweet guy. But even if you two were dating for real, I want you to be at least 28 when you get married. And if you decided to get married on your own, and disobey me, I'll go great lengths just to teach you a lesson, how petty or dirty may it be. You know that. Katsuki almost forgot how conservative his grandparent is. Even in the fashion industry no one messes with Bakugo Himiko. They know better than to get on her bad side. GZ is standing on where is it right now because of her. Katsuki wanted to be like her someday. He won't admit it but she was his idol. What about the honeymoon trip? What's the catch? He asked, since grandmother planned this whole thing. And it went accordingly on how she played it. Well, you know what's the catch? Idru wouldn't confess like this if I hadn't planned the trip to happen. Obviously to realize you are dumb and you need someone to keep you in line. I told you I like Idru for you, though I still say no to early marriage. So that's what her grandmother's plan. She arranged the trip so that Katsuki could realize his feelings, and make the two of them closer. It angers him on how he fell directly to her trap. BHC 7. Kirishima started to mutter, then he took a look at the paper he is holding. Shiro looks appalled for a minute. How did you know that dash? BHC 7. Bakugo Himiko. C7? He whispers again with his eyes open wide. What? How did Kirishima knew GZ's secret password? It was a secret password that's only the president, CEO and the security knows. Since he was future owner, it was taught to him by Shiro. What are you saying? No, look, Denki gave me this. He handed him the paper. It was just a note that said, 11 a.m. room 302. BHC 7 foot. Denki and I were talking about you last night and well, I kinda told him I think I really like you and I refuse to go down without confronting you. Katsuki fought down a blush that's threatening to tint his cheeks. How can shitty hair just said it so casually? Before he handed it to me, Denki told me that if I stand my ground, then he needs to give me that. When I first saw the time and room, I already knew it was ordering me to go here but I don't know what BHC 7 means. Then you ban me from this building, right? I just presented the letter to the guards and they let me pass, even the receptionists didn't question me. His grandmother interrupted again, BHC 7 is my code name if I need to do things in secret, that's been only knew by the security. I know you wouldn't let Idru in this building so I gave him that letter and passcode, knowing the guards will let him pass because he had my permission. I knew it was dubious. By the way Kirishima just barged in, the security should have put him into jail right now. Shiro acclaimed. Katsuki also thought of that, but he has so many things going on his mind. See? They could guess BH as it obviously stands for my name but no one could guess C7. It's just a line away from GZ. Get it? GZ? C7? I know I'm a genius, but now it's up to Mitsuki to come up with a new passcode because obviously everybody in this room know that. She said as their guest nods and writes down what she's saying. This isn't a meeting presentation. So, it didn't answer my question. Kirishima said sheepishly. Since it's clear that everyone knows I've been Katsuki's fake boyfriend but now. I was hoping that maybe we can work this out? For real? Katsuki rolled his eyes, a smile creeping up to his face. Oh yeah? Try to read my mind. He closed his eyes trying to concentrate with a fake answer, but he wishes Kirishima would say yes. But it took too long that he opens them, and he was shocked to see Kirishima's face just inches away from his own. Yes. You do. Then Kirishima cups his face with both hands. Dang. He jokes, but he held both of Kirishima's hands on his face. Then try to stop me. Kirishima challenged back. Don't tell me what to if you do. It was Katsuki who leans in first, closing the gap, kissing Kirishima. It was a slow and soft kiss. It was full of emotions. He felt Kirishima's hands back down only to grab his by the waist. Katsuki smiled to the kiss. Now he was the one who holds Kirishima by the face, deepening their kiss. Kirishima tastes like those fang cakes at the coffee shop. Did Katsuki mention that those pastries was his favorite now? It felt right. Kirishima in his arms felt right. It was in place, like it was meant to be. He knew that they started pretty messy, but it turns out well for the both of them. He had to thank grandmother later for this whole plan. It was a solid few seconds until Kirishima started to laugh, breaking them apart. And Katsuki felt a little disappointed. Then he remembers something. Do I get to be CO today, Grandma? His grandmother shakes her head, but watching the two of them fondly, you and I both know you're not ready for it. Everyone has their own timing. Katsuki nodded. He doesn't like things that inconsistent. Maybe 3 or more years it's fine. But right now, he had a boyfriend to give attention to. Thank F-. I don't want your old lady sweat in my seat anyway. Katsuki, you shut your demon mouth. His mom scolded him, as Shiro and Idru laughs besides him. His grandmother was laughing too, at an insult joke that's for her. Katsuki loves his grandmother so much, and yeah, maybe he was wrong all along, because Bakugo Katsuki wasn't the goat, it was her badass grandmother. Being a Bakugo really is a legacy. What the hell, Cats dash? Idru was awakened by a thump on his face, like someone just slapped him with something. Blah blah blah. PPM and PF. Kirimi looks at him with her big red eyes. Her small little hand was on her mouth and the other was on his face. Her small little portion of blonde hair with black highlights were all tangled, sitting on top of his chest. Then she reached out holding a hammer silicone toy. It was that something that awoken him, because his own baby just hit him with her hammer on the face. He needs to remind Katsuki again not to buy her dangerous toys. It wasn't dangerous for her, but it wasn't safe for the people that's going to be her victim. What is she doing here? He's sure Katsuki made her sleep last night in her room in her cradle. Idru scoops up his baby to his arms. Kirimi is getting bigger now. Their baby Bakugo Kirimi is now 6 months old. She was a lab baby, taken from their estance and inserted to a woman's tummy. That was a surrogate. Kirimi isn't from his womb because, well, Idru is a man, but she comes from his heart. He thinks that he loved Kirimi more than Katsuki now, but his boyfriend will get mad, so he isn't going to admit that. He knows Katsuki loved her as much too. Where's Daddy? He asked the baby who was wailing in his arms, trying to get back down to bed and play, or smack Idru some more. He prays that their daughter doesn't get Katsuki's temper. The kid in his arms stops her movement for a while, titled her head at him and said, Ida? Oh my god. Idru loves her so much. Squish little cute baby, he doesn't deserve a pure ball of happiness. Idru kisses her cheek because she's too cute. Yes, Kirimi, where's Dada? And then the baby started to cry. Oh shit. No. I was asking where's Daddy, I'm not saying he's missing. He bounces her on his arms. Then he heard a song playing from their house. Yes, after a year of being together, him and Katsuki bought a new house. And then on their 4th anniversary they decided they wanted a baby. Grandma Himiko still wants them to visit from time to time though, saying she wants to take care and groom the future GZ heiress. Since Katsuki became the owner/president of GZ, the company's success only surged. When Mitsuki stepped down, the CEO title was given to Shiro. Katsuki said if it wasn't for Shiro he wouldn't be the businessman he is, and he's right. Idru thinks Shiro deserves it, because he is loyal to the company, he works harder than anyone else in GZ and a good friend to him and Katsuki. The baby stops crying from hearing the sound too. It sounded familiar. Do you think it's Daddy? Karimi just clapped her hands together and puts her forehead on his chest. Not answering him. But what do you really expect for a 6-month-old baby? Idru is too in love, his heart will burst any minute. So the both of them, still in their pajamas, decided to see what's going on. Babe, it's been 5 years since that special day when I asked you on our first date. Guess it's safe to say. Katsuki was standing by their garden. He was still in his black and orange explosion pajamas, his hair a little messy, but the familiar smile and bouquet of red roses in his hands are present. There was a path of red roses petals from the door leading to Katsuki. Then, are those bubbles? What is he doing? Karimi recognized her daddy, da-da-da-da, making grabby hands towards him. Idru can't believe she has a favorite. And it wasn't him. She was named after him, Kirishima, and now she likes her other dad better? He pouts. But he walks towards Bakugo, bouncing an excited baby on his arms. You and I are better than Sunny and Cher, Honey and Bears. Good morning. Katsuki greeted and leans in. Idru said, closes his eyes. Then the kiss never came. When he opens his eyes, Katsuki was pinching Karimi's cheek, so he had kissed Karimi good morning but not him. He's starting to see a pattern here. Wipe that effing look on your face. Katsuki laughs and gave him a quick peck on the lips. Katsuki. No cursing, he scolded him. Karimi starts to mimic the words. No. Don't say that. That's bad. Then the baby started to cry. No, the word is bad, not you, you're my sweetest angel. But Karimi just cried some more. He sighs in defeat as Katsuki rolled his eyes, taking Karimi in his free hand, kissing her forehead. The baby stopped crying instantly. He hates favoritism. Katsuki chuckles as he handed Idru the bouquet and drops in one knee, as he seats Karimi on his other knee. Idru was glad that he isn't carrying Karimi, or else he would have dropped her. You and I are better than Aladdin and Jasmine, we've made it happen singing, la 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 la. La la la. Katsuki grabbed something from his pocket. It was a small velvet box. Idru feels like he was having a déjà vu. La la la, their baby repeats. Karimi might like Katsuki better, but there's no denying her talkativeness is what she inherited from him. Idru, you know how much I love you and this little brat right here. We've been together for 5 years, we already knows each other's deepest secrets, we've been through a lot, ups and downs. I want to be with you for the rest of my life, want to experience more things and learn with you. Together with our angel. So, marry me again? But for real this time? Katsuki asked, struggling to keep the velvet box away from Karimi. Idru smiles softly, he loves his family so much. He pretended to shrug his shoulders and did an unimpressed look. Meh, depends, how much are you going to pay me? Katsuki laughs as he stood up, a baby on his hips. I don't have enough money to buy your love, but is my heart enough? Idru laughs as he smacked Katsuki by the chest. See? You're the worst in pickup line. Then he said, yes, yes, yes. Yee. Karimi puts her hands up too. Baby. Daddy wants me to marry him. Idru grabs his baby again from Katsuki, so he can put the ring on his finger. Papa. Idru gasps, did his baby just? Can you repeat that again, baby? Papa, I'm Papa. Papa. Karimi claps her hands again, giggling. He turns to Katsuki, who looks at them with soft features. Katsuki. She called me Papa. Oh my god. Idru is a crybaby, but when their daughter called him Papa for the first time, he broke the record of crying too fast. Katsuki puts a lingering kiss on his lips, then kissed him on the forehead and pats Karimi's head. Idru has now a loving fiancé and a cute baby, he's winning in life. He still remembers on how Katsuki and him started, it'll be a good story to tell when their daughter grow up. Now come to think of it, maybe it was really a Cinderella story after all. Let me say, you'll look so appealing on our wedding day.